Welcome into another Tuesday night evening blend. I'm Pop Blender, and with me, as always, is Matthew Matson, the one and only. And I'm going to give him the floor and give him full screen, as we always do. Welcome in, y'all, and take it away, Matthew. Boom.
Well, today is Dracula Day, so happy Dracula Day. May 26th is the original release date of the Bram Stoker's Dracula novel publication. So there you go. There's your Dracula Day for you.
Now, where did that figure come from? Who is that?
That is a Jada Toys Dracula, Bela
Okay.
Lugosi Dracula, inside a casket of cruelty coffin that came with the sets of everything.
Nice.
And
That's
this dude
a badass.
is awesome. And this was the one that 3-Star picked up at a convention and sent over my way. So definitely appreciate that. And they just named some of these blind bag weapons that came with him, but he's like this awesome swordmaster guy. His alternate head has like glowing eyes and stuff. He's awesome. Love him. While I was on my trip, I found something at Target.
Ooh, okay.
So
Nice.
I was like, okay, I haven't found these. Haven't found these in Texas yet. I found all the turtles that come in that set. I've seen them, but I only wanted this guy. And
I don't blame you.
And this is Stan Sakai's artwork for the Usagi Yojimbo that he did for a TMNT crossover, but it was his book. And it comes with a smiling face, a screaming head, and the ears are all swappable. So there's 3 sets of ears that you can put on there.
Oh, nice.
So he's got these flowing ears. And look, he's wearing the sword on the correct side. Oh my gosh, it's so hard to do that.
You know how difficult it is to do research.
Oh yeah. And then
hang on. We're not done. We're not done, folks.
I just want to throw this out there that Savage Crucible has talked about their new blind box drop that's coming, and they've got some incredibly painted these guys. So there's 4 different versions of them. There's a fire one, an albino, a frost one, and then like a gold one. The paint job that they did on them with the detail that they did on the back and everything is phenomenal. You can go over to their website and check that out if you want at a later time, because they put up images for what they look like. But they're going to be blind boxes. So when you get them, you don't know which one you're going to get. Okay. And they've got different rarities. So the fire one is the most common. The albino and the frost one are in between. And then the gold one is the rarest one. What you got there? Mug with what's on that? I can't quite see.
Oh, it's Darth. It's
yeah.
Yogurt. It's Trapper Wolf. That's Trapper Wolf. Like that's a AARP Sigourney Weaver piloting an X-wing. Oh yes, yes, all the things we love from Star Wars.
I've got my Savage Crucible sweatshirt on.
You're bringing the heat, dude. Come on.
And my Millennium Falcon T-shirt here. So this is all Millennium Falcon underneath.
Love it.
So
love it. I think I had my Falcon on last week on one of the streams actually, but I busted old Waylon out tonight.
Yeah,
I got nice little cycle of shirts I like to wear, and old Waylon likes to make an appearance every now and then. That some bitch. So look, welcome in. The show is already in progress. Matthew has already brought fire to the party, so we didn't even start one. And then, yes, folks, we are going to talk about Mango and Grok Man Boobs and Googie. We're gonna, we're, we're gonna go. We're gonna talk about this movie, and if you're in for that, I hope you are, because we
And just to
both.
be funny and ironic, I posted a picture on my Instagram with the Mandalorian and Geyer Wolf. Um,
What? I mean, look, we're gonna get into it, but I guess one thing we both will agree on is that this movie should not be taken seriously as far as from a canon lore information that you must know. I guess, right? Like that's we both agree on that, but
yeah,
we definitely are going to get into it because to me it bears worth talking about. It is a Star Wars movie, right? I mean, bottom line. So yeah, so we're gonna get into it. But first, I want to say hello to a few people. Mother Slug jumped in
got some
here
chat.
and talking about some Voltron, man.
Love
Um,
Voltron. Can't wait for
yeah,
Cavill's Voltron to come out.
I I am all about that life. I want an updated Voltron in all the best
So,
ways.
so I want to just mention this real quickly.
Hmm.
We can talk about it later or whatever, but Amazon is really bringing the heat this summer. While Voltron is going to Amazon Prime directly,
Okay.
they're doing a Ghost in the Shell animated series that's coming out this fall. A complete reboot, new series. They've done what was it Mortal Kombat or He-Man or both of them that they're involved with. So they've been producing these movies behind the scenes and putting it out there in the theaters for content. So they've actually been making a lot of stuff to put out there. So it's really interesting to see that they've kind of taken over the Warner Brothers slot in the market.
Okay. Um, well, it seems like at least this year, whether it's shows, whether it's movies,
Yeah,
there's been a little bit of a, even though production's down, maybe what's being chosen, right, what's being greenlit, is an improvement over what we've had in the past. And we talk about it all the time. I'm hoping these companies learn from their failures
yeah,
and actually put stuff out that people want to watch with
right.
scripts that make sense, right? With
Yep,
dialogue that makes sense and an actual story, right? Not just an
yeah.
and then this happens, right? We need good stories to get people invested. If you're not going to be able to get them all back in theaters, at least get people's eyeballs on a quality show, right?
Yep.
That's streaming. Let's see. I did show Giraffe here, which obviously is right in line with you and me here. Cypher 63, what's up? Let's see here. Go Phillies. Oh, a little baseball talk. I mean, we are, middle of the season, I guess, aren't we? But hey, keep the baseball on. Keep us going on, somewhere in there. I am happy to be in your mix, Cypher. You know that. And then Turk Murphy, what's up, brother?
What's up?
Wolfgrim is here. What's up? Like I said, Giraffe says, grab a beer from the fridge. I encourage everybody, grab a beer from the fridge. Eric Thurman's in the house. What's up, Eric? Bobby Wold is also here as well.
So let me just give you a rundown real quick. This
Yeah.
is what Amazon has produced this year: Masters of the Universe, Project Hail Mary, After the Hunt, Accountant 2, Spaceballs, the new one, The Boys, all that kind of stuff. But we also have Voltron coming out and some other things. So Project Hail Mary and Masters of the Universe are going to kill it. I mean, Project Hail Mary kind of did. Masters of the Universe
Yes.
will. So, and then you've got Voltron later. So they're placing their bets where they want to place them. So they're making some savvy decisions.
We're going to see, how sneaky Masters of the Universe, how that does. I mean, look, we know the
I
market. We know what market it is.
Yeah.
That market has money to go see movies.
Yep.
Okay. And that is right in the nostalgia feels. And this isn't something that, other than animation, He Man is not something that we saw another attempt at 12 years ago, right? And a reboot
Well,
15 years ago,
it
right?
bankrupted an entire studio, so everybody was kind of like, "Oh, wait a minute."
Right.
It was more than just that, but it was Superman 4, it was He-Man. They both combined bankrupt a studio.
Well, one thing we can give credit to, I would really say Spider Man, the Tobey Maguire Spider Man
Yeah.
movies, is that now you can take those swings on stuff, right? If you can get people in and get the buy-in, because used to be they would make superhero movies and not want to use the costumes, right? They wouldn't want to use oh, we can't do that, looks stupid. And then you realize that you
Yeah.
can do that.
Right.
And since then, and thankfully with Marvel, obviously, uh, companies are like, yeah, we can do this. It doesn't look stupid. There are
Right.
people that want this, and I think that's where that Motu movie kind of comes out of. That people
Yep.
do want it. So I'm curious to see what numbers it does. I mean, we all are obviously here. Woody, Triple Deuce,
What's
what's up,
up?
buddy? Good to see you, man. Glad you're able to hang out, man. I know you. If you have to, you will be on Replay Squad 100% always. And quickly, just wanted to add, Bobby. Bobby says, "I wish I could have been excited for Mando." But if I go watch it, I know I'm just going to sit here trying to find everything wrong with it instead of enjoying it. And I have a
That's a
comment.
shame. That's a
It
shame.
is, but I do have a comment about that because I thought about that today on my way home,
Yeah.
thinking about the stream tonight,
Yeah.
and I did think about that, and so I kind of actually have it written down as far as my thoughts on uh, that comment. It is
Hmm.
something I thought about, and I'm trying to check myself more and more about, hey, keep an open mind.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that when I see things and I hear things, it doesn't mean I'm not gonna to think about it, right? I
Right.
can't just wipe it away and
Yeah.
go, oh, so big deal. Um, so yeah, I mean, but that's a great comment, Bobby, and I totally understand why you feel that way.
Yep.
You know, yeah, Mother Slug, Spaceballs 2 is gonna bomb, and that's the thing. I
We'll
just, I
see.
just don't know what you can do with it. I guess that's my
Well,
biggest question with that movie is
s-
what are you gonna do that can even come close to the original?
so my litmus test is going to be Scary Movie. How is Scary Movie going to do this fall? And
Okay.
if Scary Movie does well, then I believe Spaceballs has a real good shot at doing well.
I think it's one of those, man, look, we haven't seen a lot of comedies in a while. It's
Yep.
not a normal thing anymore. Studios aren't spending money on comedies. Obviously, this is another nostalgia feel,
Yep.
right?
Absolutely.
Mel Brooks, obviously a genius. There is a fan base that want to see anything that he's a part of or comes up with. Um, I just, I'm just curious about that second week, right?
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
opening weekend. If it's funny, if it no Naked Gun even, right?
Right.
The
Yeah.
Naked Gun, if it's funny, people will talk about it and they will
Right.
spread that message, right? And so yeah, I'm very curious how that's gonna do. Shane is here. What's up, Shane? There he goes. What's up, you bastages? Good to see you, Shane. From Same Time Toys, crushing it over there. 3 stars here. Checkity check yourself before you wreck yourself. Hey, that's some good shit. You need to turn that into a song, 3 star. Uh, Clint Jorgensen's here too. Says I just got back from Motu Universe 2. Garaf, you should have said you were going. What the hell was that?
Motuniverse, yeah.
Yeah,
So it was a convention that happened last weekend,
I'll be
and
damned.
it was hosted by Amazon Studios, MGM Studios. So I mean,
Saw that.
it was a
Okay.
convention, but Amazon came in and sponsored a large portion of it because they put a big centerpiece in there. They had a bunch of interaction with fans, and it kind of filled the gap for PowerCon in a lot of ways. I know PowerCon, it may still be a thing. I don't know. Who knows? Nobody knows.
Okay.
So this is the He-Man convention of the year for sure because it's before the movie
Sure.
and the movie came out and supported it. And everybody who went to it said they had a blast. So I don't know that it will ever be that good again because I seriously doubt
Yeah, the
that they're going
timing.
to get
Yeah.
that the support.
Right.
But man, everybody went had a blast, and it was in SoCal, so it was easy for them to do it.
I'll be honest, and how I guess I missed that on my radar. Last week and up to this week was a bit of a blur with graduation for my son, a
Yeah,
graduation
yeah,
party on Sunday. I did not do a stream Sunday night. I'm not going to lie to you. I was exhausted
I
because
bet.
I had a graduation party for him, had it at the restaurant that I work at. And unfortunately, I should have just clocked in because I literally was just running around trying to check on people and order food and make sure everybody was good. So I actually felt like I was working. And I don't even think I sat down one time the entire party. for like 3 hours. I didn't even sit down. But and so it was just all a blur, and so that obviously that Motu how the hell do you say it? Motu universe. I'm so stupid.
Like Mo Sislak, tuna fish verse, Mo tuna verse,
I'll let you do it. So anyway, that
Mo tuna verse.
went right over my head. And so
So
yeah, but it sounds great.
sounds like it's a
Sounds great.
blast. And Bobby Wool, that is the rumor that Dolph Lundgren is playing King Grayskull. And some people have noticed that in the trailers there is a statue with Dolph Lundgren's face on it. So that might indicate that he is a previous historical figure in the Eternia universe. So they have incorporated, and that's why he's been on all the red carpets and everything. And Jared Leto hasn't. That's a whole nother story.
Uh, I've heard things about
Heard
Leto's
things.
performance.
Oh, I've heard. Yeah, I've heard good things.
I've
about
heard
it.
good things.
Yeah, but there's a reason why he's not on the red carpet.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing about with
And
that.
it might be similar as to why the star of Mobland will not be returning for season 3.
Well, okay. I heard that. Not confirmed though, right? With Tom Hardy,
He's out. He is out.
I didn't see that was confirmed. That's interesting.
Yeah, he is not allowed back for season 3. They wrapped season 2, and they said we're done with you. You're not allowed back.
I know there was some issues on set.
Yeah.
With him, I don't know what that was. I'm sure
I do not know either.
Information come out, but I didn't see anything.
I mean, if there are allegations coming, there are allegations coming. But my guess is that he started pulling his weight and started wanting to rewrite the script and say my character would do this or that character would do that, and he started interfering with what the studio wanted, and he was trying to make a better product, most likely, and they said you're out, which is what The Witcher did with Cavill.
Yeah, I was gonna say you literally took the words out of my mouth. It sounds exactly like what happened with Henry Cavill and The Witcher show.
And so I don't know if beyond this Mobland's going to be any good, or if Hardy's just an asshole and they wanted to get rid of him because he's an asshole.
It could be a little bit of both.
Could be a little bit of both.
Can be true.
Both can be true,
but they're also not mutually exclusive.
So. But and with Henry Cavill's case, that was him getting frustrated and accepting the clause to get out. But basically, they were pressuring him to get out, and he took his out.
Well, they made shit up about him. He's difficult to work with. He's trying to change the script. And if you want to know if he would have changed the script or done anything, if you want to know how good it probably would have been, watch the horse scene.
Oh, right? Yeah, that's the scene.
Just watch that exactly. Watch that scene, and you'll understand like his creativity, and then the rest of the show. That's the writers and showrunners' creativity.
It is the best scene in all of the seasons of Witcher. Is Roach's death.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I did want to say War Chest is here, and he did bring this. He brought this up to me the other day about Jared Leto. Was like it's curiously absent, and
I noticed it, and then I saw an article on it, and I'm like, okay.
It's like maybe we should just keep him away from just keep him away from the marketing. Let's kind of let's let the movie speak for itself. Let's let his part speak for itself, his performance, but keep him away from doing media and press junkets and stuff.
Here's my thing with Jared Leto is I've always thought he was a very talented actor. He just got some shit roles. He got some shit scripts, and and then he wants to go all throw himself in the part. He wants to be Daniel Day-Lewis, right? Where he, immerses himself so much in the role, he becomes the character or whatever. And that's hard to work with. And in today's world, with the soft little snowflakes that he's got to work with, they can't handle.
Oh yeah, you're dealing
kind
with
of idea.
Feelings of an assistant.
Yeah.
Who just brings coffee, but that assistant can get somebody like buried. Right.
Yeah. And so, being a method actor has been his thing. And, if he was playing the evil guy on set, then, maybe people took him a little too seriously. And
it's possible. What he did when he was playing the Joker, and some of the pranks that he was pulling, some of the stuff behind the scenes, when you found out about that stuff, and it's like that's not. I mean, method act. That's just somebody who's just not well. Like it's
Yeah,
just it's people. Most people are not going to respond to stuff like that.
and
Mother
he
Slug,
has been
the message.
the
Yeah,
message. He's
the
been box
message.
office poison for a while, and it's unfortunate because I think he's a good actor. But at the same time, if he's going to be like that, and if he wants to put his Jesus look out in every single film. Well, the good news is we won't see that in this one because he's got no hair and he got no face.
Right.
So
Right. Well, yeah, that's true. And so you don't have to worry about that whole thing about that the actor's face has to be on screen, a la
oh, Mandalorian.
Pedro. Okay, woo, 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 because Pedro basically one day of shooting in that film. He had one day of
Ooh,
shooting in
there's my
that
face.
film.
Oh nope, you can't see
Is
it now.
that
You can't see it
is
now.
that Ellen Page?
No, Ellen Page has flat, straight hair. This is kind of curlyish
Oh,
hair,
and six pack abs.
and he's got a little pudge on him because this is from season one.
Oop, oop. Yeah, he wasn't, not quite the bona fide star that he is today.
Well, yeah,
Um,
when they took the helmet off and he had all the fat come out, I'm like, what the hell? That's not the same guy we've been watching all year.
it's, that's fascinating. Okay, I had a couple comments starred. Let's see, and as we kind of get into it, Wolfgrim's like, "Hey, look, what about Thundercats? I'd love a Thundercats. How do you do it? Can you get the buy-in? Is it a big enough property? That's the part. Even though to us it was big in the pantheon of toys and properties." To me, Thundercats was not one of those
So,
ones you really make something out of it.
so I
Just
go.
me.
Well, I think you can. I go back to the 2011 animated Thundercats series was absolutely phenomenal,
I agree.
and it was canceled, and the toy line vanished off the market before they finished it. But they put out a bunch of toys, and they didn't sell because it was at the death knell of Toys R Us. Um, and they were good toys, and they were for kids. But that was kind of in that in between phase. Kids aren't playing with toys, or parents aren't buying toys for their kids. They're buying
Right.
electronics for them, and that's
Right.
a
I
whole other
don't.
thing.
I just don't see that changing either.
Yeah.
Todd C is here, and yes, Pedro. I guess he doesn't need to show his face, but the thing of it is, because he can pass for Hispanic, he can pass for white, he can pass for like other races, right? Like he can. So they want to get his face on screen because he can check several boxes for any company, especially Disney in that particular case. Mother Slug, yeah, LJN to make the Thundercats movie.
I mean, why not?
I
Everybody's
mean,
making movies these days.
if it was LJN, it would be horrible. Let's see.
Clint
Real
Jorgensen,
quick.
I almost have all of them. I didn't get the big play set and a couple of the others, but I have most of them.
See, here's the thing when we get into conversations like these is that, for instance, Eric saying Silverhawks needs to come back.
See,
I'm
I
not.
love Silverhawks. Nobody knows what Silverhawks is.
I
Eric,
mean, I think they do. I
well,
think they
not many.
do. But
It's
well,
it's you and me, and it's one of the darkest things in the world if you think about it on a psychological perspective. What they did to those guys
I
to
can
get them
see
to do
that.
that, and
I can
then
see that.
Monstar and his crew and who they
Yes.
really were. Man,
Yeah.
there's some dark stuff there that they could go into some really cyberpunk horror stuff with, which I think would be fascinating. But you got to tie it in at the end of the Thundercats movie, and the Thundercats movie has to do well. But that means that He-Man's
Yeah.
got to kill it for Thundercats to even be a question in anyone's mind, and that's
It's exactly
what they
what
were
I was about
saying.
to say. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, and you're right. It would have to, because either way you look at it, is there a market? Yes. But let's take He-Man, okay? As we start to go down that list, you kind of start getting a bit smaller and a bit smaller. And you're talking about putting money into something. You want to talk about being risk averse?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you really would have to be creative. And no one, I don't think, is going to throw a lot of money at something that is that risky, unless you just had a knockdown script, a knockout script.
Yeah.
And I just don't know, man.
No,
Like,
nobody has the balls to do what needs to be done,
yeah.
as we can see with this Mandalorian movie that we're going to talk about.
Oh, dude. Oh, dude. I can't wait to get into it. I have notes. I have notes.
I got so
Your
many
notes.
notes.
Your notes are
So
in
many
your head
notes.
because your head works
I
better than
actually, I
mine in
actually
that
wrote
way.
some stuff down too,
Okay,
but
good, good. No, I love it. I was writing it down as I watched it. And we will quickly go through the box office because I do want to get into this discussion because I think this thing really bears discussion, and then also with the chat and just making sure I want to keep up with you guys and kind of hear what you guys thought if you did see it. Um, let's see really quickly. I don't want to miss anybody or anything.
I
Just
think
in case.
we have three stories that we need to tell about the younger generation and the Mandalorian Grogu movies. Mine,
Uh,
yours, and Punk's.
There you go. There you go. 3 star. This is going back to the convention, saying that you mean some companies care about fans and will sponsor events for their own product. And I also do, like you said, though, it 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 does time up nicely. You're not probably
It
gonna see the same support,
Yeah.
right?
So not
Because
only
of the
did it
movie.
time up nicely, it was being held in a location that was easily accessible to Hollywood.
Yeah. See that's something else. So yes, but at the same time, a 3 star. You are right. Like if a company actually does give a shit about their fans, you'll see it, right? You'll see it. Sometimes it's fake as hell, but at least that lined up for everybody, and I'm
Yeah.
sure it was an awesome event, and it would be fun to go to. Cypher
Yeah.
Six
Yeah.
Three says I think Mando will get its flowers on Disney Plus. And it is the most watched thing on Disney Plus. The Mandalorian series is the most watched show that they have
Oh,
overall
the
in
most
view
watched
minutes.
Star Wars has.
Well, yeah, like their Star Wars
I was just say
content.
because the most watched thing on there is still Bluey.
Yeah. But I mean, as far as Star Wars content,
Yeah.
it has garnered the most watch minutes. I hate streaming because you can't believe shit.
You can't believe
It's
anything they
nebulous
say.
numbers. They can
No.
make the shit up and just tell you what they want you to think, and you don't have any way to call their bullshit.
Right.
And then more Chester Santa know two people who have seen Masters of the Universe,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's not a perfect movie, but it's the best thing we've ever gotten, and Skeletor is amazing. Yes,
I've heard so many good things
I
about
have
it. I'm
too.
super psyched about seeing it.
I've heard it's a little bit, wouldn't call it pacing, but from what I understand, it kind of gets a little slow a couple times, and it kind of maybe drags the movie down a little bit, but then picks back up. So,
Yeah.
but overall, pretty good. And then,
Yeah,
yeah,
Bobby,
well,
he corrected himself. So we
and then
clarified it.
yes, definitely had to clarify if you're talking about the Star Wars
Yeah.
most watched stuff. Yeah. Okay, so and Wolfram,
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say this: my son did not give a shit about going to see a Star Wars movie.
Punk's
So I'm
son,
with you there.
Punk's son didn't give a shit about seeing it.
Interesting.
My daughter, who loves wearing Mandalorian and Grogu stuff, didn't want to see it in the theater. She said, "I can wait till it comes to streaming."
I'm telling you, dude. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I never would have thought I would see the day, but when I
yeah.
brought it
So
up,
I mean, that's
I'm
three
interested.
different perspectives, and now Pop's kid and Punk's kid are about the
Oh,
same age,
yeah.
and my daughter's obviously a lot younger, but yeah, and then same time there, that was in better shape than Pedro. Eh.
Jesus, we're gonna get into it. Okay, so let me just
In
pull
season
this.
one for sure.
I no doubt about it. All right, and well, yeah, I can't wait. All right, let me share this real quick. Let's just knock down through it. We will get into the numbers for Mandalorian, but I'm not going to do it right here. Obviously, number one, 4 days in release,
Yeah.
98 million domestic. It is sitting at around overall about 167 million total.
Okay,
Okay,
now did you pull in the 4 day total? Did you pull in Monday's numbers, or is that still
this is from today. This is the numbers. This is a 4 day release window. Is all it's giving me.
okay? Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That is Monday's numbers also. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
They just
98.
take longer to process than Box Office Mojo, which is pissing some people off this morning.
Yeah, I don't like to use them.
No, I don't mean
I
either.
don't like to use them. So we've heard it bandied about. Oh, they made their production budget. This movie's a success. It's
No, they haven't.
it's a roaring success. No, that it's not. It's not how the
Listen,
numbers actually work. It's
let, let,
not.
let, let's break this down real simple for everybody. Real simple. Okay. So if you have a movie, whatever the ticket sales are, whatever box office you see from international, you have to know that the company, the home company that made the movie, is getting between 10 to 25% of whatever that number is, right? The rest of it goes to the country and the movie theaters. Okay. In the United States, about 60% of that number goes back to the theaters, whereas the other 40% goes back to the studios. So on average, you have to cut whatever that is into a third, and that's how much money the studio made from it. Okay, this is just simple math, right? And if we take simple math, I mean, if we believe their production budget was 165 million, if we believe
Right.
that that's true, because it's not true, because they lie to us all the time, and then they only tell us when tax rebates are involved what it actually costs. And so when you look at the numbers in reality with actual math involved, it is one third of the way to making a profit right
I
now.
I I, I couldn't have said it better myself. We both talk about this. We know what these numbers actually mean. And as Todd says, Spec said it's not a flop. Who's right?
Spec can say what he wants.
Yeah,
He's
whatever.
got his information, but he doesn't understand math.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's
and it really is kind of simple math.
and so when they announce this in the papers, so to speak, right on the websites in the trade, you know, it's a success. It is making its budget and then some. It's out of the gate with this and that. Well, obviously that is trumped up from the companies that make the films.
Yeah.
Okay, and then they have the access media to be the mouthpiece for them. And so,
And
you
so
know, the,
with these numbers, and that's the 4 day total.
that's a 4 day.
And if we go back and we look at the 3 day total, 3 day total was 81 million
Yes.
domestically. Okay. Domestically, if we just talk about domestic numbers, and we're only talking domestic numbers, $81 million is less than what Solo, a Star Wars movie, which was a complete and utter failure and lost a lot of money for the studio, because that made $84 million. And if you adjust it for inflation, it would be $112 million today,
Yep.
right?
That's
Okay,
it.
and that 112 versus 81, that doesn't match up, right? The only other movie that did worse than this one on its opening 3 day weekend was the Clone Wars movie that Dave Filoni made.
That also stars one of the people that's in Mango and Grok.
Yeah,
It actually has Rod of the Hut.
Rod of the Hut.
He's also in that Clone Wars
Yeah.
movie. And so, and like you said earlier, that Dave Filoni has actually been in charge of two of the lowest making Star Wars
The
theatrical
two,
releases. The
the
two.
the two lowest grossing theatrical releases for Star Wars ever.
Um, and so, not to belabor that now, we'll run down this list and then we will get back into that here in literally momentarily. Obsession, a movie I do want to see. I've heard very good
Apparently,
things about it.
people are talking great things about it.
And 11 days in release. This is kind of an under the radar thing right here. But you can bet your as far as your production budget, you're talking about $1 million. Now we don't know again that figure. It's probably not right on the nose,
Yeah,
but is obviously making great money for what it was made on. But I've heard really good things about it. Do want to see it for sure.
yeah.
100%.
And I
Michael,
mean, if it's that expensive and it's making that much money, awesome. That's what the studio needs. You need to invest in small budget films that are going to hit a niche. That
well,
are going to
and
hit
and that
something.
tells you something. That tells you that it's hitting the right nerve with
Yeah,
people that are going to see it, which means that it's a successful movie and it's very well done.
yeah.
And so obviously people are telling other people and they're going to see this movie. And so, yeah, so I definitely want to check it out. I've heard good things about it.
Nope.
Michael obviously was going to kill it. We knew that. It is nearing almost 800 million worldwide.
Good.
And on track for a sequel. I don't know how they go about it, considering some of the things they ran into
Yeah,
with the
unless they
issues
can
in the
get
first
past
one.
a couple of those barriers, you got to get past Diana Ross. You got to get past the "We Are the World" barrier because that should have been a part of this movie, but it wasn't because there's too much story there. But without Diana Ross, you can't talk about the Wiz. You can't talk about "We Are the World" without
Right.
some of this stuff, and then you can't talk about beyond that without the gag order that they had up as a part of the agreement from that settlement that he made. And amongst other things, because you'd have to talk about all of that in the sequel, and I don't know that they can. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's the difficult part about it. If they're able to get around that, then yes, we may very well see. We may very well see
Yeah,
that. Bobby,
but will it be fulfilling? Right? Will it be what we want to
yes,
see?
yeah. And then Obsession. Bobby's asked if that's Blumhouse. And
I
believe
don't.
I
I
believe
don't
so,
know.
but I can't. I'm not gonna confirm it right now
Yeah,
because I have not looked it up actually to see. But um, bottom line is that it's getting rave reviews for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, for
without a
sure.
doubt. So and then Devil Wears Prada
Just
2.
Prada,
I think that was
yeah,
going to be an easy one too. Sheep Detectives.
which is an awesome movie, and everybody should go see it.
There you go.
I
Matthew
mean,
gives you the thumbs up on that one.
look, it is. It's fun. It's entertaining. It's engaging. It's everything you want from a whodunit mystery thing. And the funny part is whatever is Hugh Jackman is throughout the whole movie, right? Yes, he's the character that dies in the movie, and they have to solve
Yeah.
his mystery. But he is throughout the movie, right?
And that yeah, and we've
The
seen
rest of the
that kind
cast
of, kind of
the rest of
story
the
before.
cast kills it in this, and everybody throws themselves into the parts. The idiot police officer who's got to solve a crime, and then the sheep who are running around trying to point him in the right direction and tell him how to do it right. And then you've got He-Man. He-Man's in it too. He plays a reporter that comes
Oh
on
yeah.
scene to try and make his big break. So he plays another character. So you've got all these characters and the sheep and the family members and the who done it and everybody's pointing fingers and the new will and it's a good mystery. It's well worth investing the time to go watch. And like I said, it's entertaining. It's fun.
And looks to be doing, uh, pretty good. I mean, it says it had about a $75 million, budget. So I mean, I didn't know if this was a movie that, to me, when I saw it, that was going to make money or make a
Yeah,
lot of money. It's kind of tough. I think people are not quite sure what they're going to
yeah.
get, and I think that's part of it. Is that definitely. I mean, some people, Todd C says, sounds like a solid '90s movie. It also could be like Babe or something, like just
Yeah, it's not like that.
no, I know that, but you know what I'm saying as
Yeah.
far as like, he says like a solid '90s movie in my mind when you talk about animals and you talk about like that kind of thing, right? But yeah, you really liked it, and
Well,
you told me
and my
afterwards. So
entire staff liked it too because everybody in my staff saw it and they loved it. And it's like one of those things and one of my coworkers actually said, "No, it's not like Babe. They did a really good job with the animation, so they didn't take you out of it being a real animal
yeah,
to do some of these things. And so they did a lot
yeah,
of things with looks with gestures and stuff. So the sheep weren't communicating verbally all the time. Yes, they were talking. Okay, you
right,
had you
right,
had
right,
voice
right.
actors playing them, but when they were interacting with humans, it was like they're staring at them. Do this thing,
Oh no,
or whatever.
I love that kind of premise.
Yeah,
It's goofy. I think it's funny. I love that kind of premise. Right? The
yeah, yeah.
animals talk to themselves. They understand what humans say, but humans can't understand what the hell they're saying. In
Right.
a way, right? So I do like that premise though, and like I said, I know that you dug it. And so yeah.
So
For
fuck
the
you, Spec. I liked something. There you go. I have enjoyment in this world.
hey, I did a whole stream about stuff I liked. I thought it was
I
fantastic.
like all kinds of stuff.
And at the end, everybody was like, "So we learned what you like." okay. It's like, what was the point of that again? So let's see here, and I'm going to star a comment because I see somebody that I do not know, but I do
Yep.
like the question. Real quick, we'll just run it down. Passenger 6, Mortal Kombat 2, 7. Personally, a disappointment to me. I did not enjoy that film. I did not think it was
Yeah.
that good, and I think Street Fighter, just from a cast perspective, even. I think Street Fighter is going to do much better. Super Mario Galaxy still hanging on strong after almost 60 days.
Hey, that was fun too.
I love boosters. Yes, I do know some people like that. They're on like their eighth booster shot, and God bless them. And then Project Hail Mary rounds out the top 10 to get that, and I love to see that too. That it's still raking in some dough on the
Yeah.
back end. We do
Yeah.
have somebody new that I have not seen before. Starfall 23. That's what I'm going to go with. It
Hello.
says, hello. Do you think Keanu Reeves would play a great Darth Revan? And if you've watched Maul Shadow Lord, yes, I have. Do you
Yep.
think that the Pink Twi'lek Devon will become Darth Talon? I would love nothing more than that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they're going to go there
No,
because
I thought to me they set that Darth Talon thing up straight up from that mall show. I totally think that that's what they were going for.
I just don't know if they're going to. It's what they're going for. Are they going to use the name? Are they going to go? I mean, her character alone and how she is, I don't see this character doing that in becoming that in this series. How long it goes, I mean, we don't know. I did like Shadow Lord though. I
Yeah,
actually enjoyed it
I
myself.
did too. Now the only thing that I don't know about is can Twi'leks change their skin color?
Yeah, because see,
Right,
that's you're right.
because Darth Talon is pretty red
Yes.
with the Zabrak tattoos on her.
Yep.
So you want to get nerdy about Star Wars. I got nerdy stuff for
Oh,
Star Wars.
I'm all about it. Shit, I'm all
um,
about it. Keanu
as
as a Darth Revan,
Yeah,
um,
so
that'd
I
be
think
interesting.
I think Keanu can kill it in anything he wants to do. Unfortunately, he is getting older,
He's
although
a
he
little
doesn't
old
look
at
it.
this point. Yeah.
He doesn't necessarily
Hmm.
look it,
I agree.
but it would show. And so I would rather have somebody like Adam Driver play the part, but we can't do that because he's
Yeah,
already
that's not
been in
happening.
Star Wars,
Right.
and so that kind of sucks. But
What about a Chalamet?
you know what? Maybe I, I like him as an actor. I
He's a
don't
good
know if
actor.
I don't know if he can go that direction. I mean, I'm sure he can, but
I don't know that
I
Disney
haven't
would.
seen it.
They like to do the unknowns with Star Wars. I know Gosling, obviously, coming in with Starfighter next year is a big name, probably the biggest name to headline a Star
Yeah.
Wars movie. It would seem like to me. But that's an interesting question. I'm kind of scared Starfall because part of me doesn't want them to touch that stuff, man. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I
I mean,
part of me doesn't want them to touch that stuff because I just feel that they just won't do it justice, and
I
that's you
I feel
know
like we still need new people at Lucasfilm. We need new people at Disney before we can
man,
trust anything that they make. And
especially that
it's going to take a lot for me to trust anything that they're making because they have butchered Thrawn.
so much.
They've and they're trying to milk things for more than what it's worth. So
Right,
that's the danger in what they're doing.
right.
Um,
Now, and regards to Ahsoka season 2 being pushed back to next year, yes, the talk
yeah,
was that Abeloth would be coming in. That is kind of where it looks like that storyline may be going. But we haven't really heard much about the plot. We really haven't. And since they've pushed it back a whole nother year, it's possible with Ahsoka season 2, they may be doing some reshoots. They
yeah.
they may be doing some rewrites, and maybe what they got they don't like. They don't think it's going to work. And so we'll see. But yeah, I heard about that, and obviously Abeloth, yes, from the Mortis arc, from the Clone Wars, being the mother, right, of the two kids and the wife of the guy who was holding it all together till he died.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean, we'll see how that plays out because I mean, they've already told the Mortis arc stuff, so it's kind of hard to go back and retell it. But Disney
Yeah.
is really horrible at doing that kind of stuff, because when they try to retell Heir to the Empire with Ezra Miller, it turns into what we saw there, and I was
Right.
thoroughly unimpressed with that. So
Bobby, I don't even know if that kid can really, Finn Wolfhard, if that's who you're talking about, that Wolfgang kid. I don't know if we're gonna see him in much. I
yeah, I
think
don't
he
think so.
peaked in Stranger Things, and as a career, I don't know that we're gonna see that kid much. As a matter of fact, a few of those kids, I don't think we're gonna see. We found out as they got
Unfortunately,
older, they weren't very good actors.
well, it if they, I don't know, they got tied down to a property and the property didn't end well, so that's going to leave a stigma on them.
That's that, but I guess also too is I just truly believe that the jig is up. I
Yeah.
think as an actor, I think most of those kids in Stranger Things have not. Maybe it's what they were given. We'll see. Don't know that they're that good. I mean,
Eh,
you just
Whatever. I mean,
yeah,
I mean, they can learn, they can grow, they can become something different. We've seen it
true,
happen a bunch of times.
100%.
You never know. But
And
I just, I'm almost to that Harrison Ford point. I don't care.
oh god, um, I love he'll piss you off.
Yes.
He'll piss you off. I do like seeing him do interviews though, because he really doesn't give a shit. Yeah, Garaf, that bar got set way too high with Superman, and I don't know if I'll ever recover. To be honest with you, yeah, the crazy kid that played the Flash for Darth Revan. You talking about what?
The crazy kid as a
No,
Grant
you know who
Gustin,
he's
the really
talking.
good. Oh, you mean the
No,
one that
you
punches pregnant women? No,
yes,
yeah, no. No, I don't.
yes,
I don't care to ever see
that
him
one.
again in anything
I
ever.
hope. I swear, I hope not. And yes, did you, Matthew? Did you see that Lindelof interview talking about the Ray movie
Yeah,
I saw a Damon
I
Lindelof interview.
saw,
I need to
and
go
and
and save
I
it. And we
can't
maybe
not
talk about it
think
next
of
week.
it as Damon Lindelof. I
Carlton Cuse was the guy who really made like Lost.
uh,
Early
Damon
work.
Lindelof has been living off the coattails of other people
Oh yeah,
his entire career. He's not
100%.
talented. He's really
Um,
not.
yeah, no, no, no.
So I don't
I
care what he
agree.
says anyway.
Um, and there's something when we talk about these movies, and I definitely have this comment starred from War Chest. I want to bring it up here in a few minutes when we here in just a couple minutes as we get into this movie. Um, and as he even says here, I for real like won't be watching any more DC movies or Star Wars at this point.
Well, they're not
So
DC anymore, so I mean,
right, but I understand what he's saying, and we might as well get into it. Let's just jump into this Mandalorian movie. There's no reason to put it off. Um, I I want to hear your thoughts, but the first thing I want to say about it
okay,
is
we
this.
have to have a non-spoiler and then the spoiler section.
Mm, absolutely, the thing of it
Okay.
is, there's nothing to spoil. um,
Well, I mean, there's a couple things, but
you're right, but weird. So
Mhm.
here's the deal: you don't have to have seen the Mandalorian show to watch this movie, okay,
Correct.
and enjoy it if you
Yeah,
do enjoy it, okay,
correct.
or not. I don't think that's required. What I will say is there are characters that appeared in another series, the Book of Boba Fett,
Well, and
that
then
they've brought into
the
this.
rise of Palpatine characters, and
Yes, there
so I
there's a
mean,
bounty hunter that has appeared in other Star Wars
yeah, yeah,
media.
yeah,
So there are other characters, but it's
sure,
not a prerequisite that you had to have seen The Mandalorian in any shape, form, or fashion as a series.
yeah.
Okay, um,
So if I was to briefly surmise this
fire
movie
away.
was made for 40 to 50-year-old wine aunts or moms. But, if you sit around and drink wine all the time and you love cute little fluffy things, then you will love this movie because it's going to have everything that you want. Because you're going to go, ooh, ah, coo, 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 coo. And look at that. Isn't that fun? And you're going to enjoy this movie. This movie has action scenes every 5 minutes for the first hour and a half, and then nothing for the last 30 minutes,
Oh gosh. Whew.
until the final battle, the climactic battle at the end. And you have nothing that happens in this movie, nothing that is significant. And about every 7 to 10 minutes, you're going to say, "Oh, remember Barry? Remember that from that movie? Oh, remember that from that TV show? Oh, remember that? Oh, remember that?" And
Very
that's
much. Yes,
the
very much so.
that is the entire movie. That's all it is.
And if you are good with that, if
Go
you are
for it.
good with that, then you're probably going to be just fine.
Yep.
Okay. Um, for me, it wasn't terrible.
Mm-mm.
It wasn't terrible.
Wasn't terrible.
There are so many more series and other things that Disney has done with Star Wars that I could absolutely rip apart and have.
Yeah,
Um,
this does not break lore.
yeah, there's nothing in this that would make a hardcore Star Wars fan go, you know, uh, say that. Oh my God, they changed the lore. This is, this ruins. Now, I will say that it's interesting, and I said this about a week and a half ago, or actually it might have been last week when you were on vacation, and
I
coming back
didn't
home.
say it was terrible.
No. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, no. Rewind the tape. Rewind the tape. No. But what I want to say is this. Unfortunately, no matter what they make, all right, all roads lead back to Jake Skywalker.
Yeah.
Okay, all roads lead back to the sequel trilogy, and no matter what the New Republic is doing or trying to do or who they're battling or whatever, we ultimately understand that they become a tiny group of people in a ship fleeing from a dreadnought, right? Ship.
That's all it
And
was.
and so as far as maybe something that has to do with the greater picture, yes, the New Republic is in this. Sigourney Weaver's character is in this, and she is portraying a captain or whatever. She flies an X-wing. She's given orders, and the basis of the movie is that Mandalorian now works for them, and he takes out old Imperials that are still trying to either be a warlord or they're still out there, right, surviving as war criminals. And
You know
it's
what?
his job to find these people. That's the
So,
premise of the movie.
premise of the movie. Yep. Something that I noticed while watching this movie that I had never noticed before because it wasn't there before. The X-wings that they fly in this movie have gigantic cockpits. I mean, they are 4 times the size of the original cockpits, so that you can see the entire actor emoting and moving through this. I haven't noticed it before, but I'm sure it was in the Mandalorian
I need to
series.
go back and
But
look at
but
that.
these cockpits are like this big, and
They
so
have pink lights on the back too. The
you
flames
have
are like pink.
you have this much headroom, so they can do all this kind of emoting. Where in the original series, they were like
Yeah, super
this
tight.
inside those cockpits because
Now,
they were real fighter craft.
hey,
They were
maybe
designed after real fighter craft. That people had a real design aesthetic about them. These things, these new ones, they're spacious. I mean, you could fit 4 people in that cockpit.
maybe after Return of the Jedi, they improve the space inside the cockpit, made it a
Maybe.
little more roomy for those long trips down to Florida. Those vacations with the kids, or
Or that
your
other
your
island that
50
they go
year
to,
old
whatever.
Yoda character. I don't know. That is interesting. I did not notice that. I did notice though that the flames coming out of the TIE fighter, or the not TIE fighter,
Yeah.
the X wings, they looked pink to me. I mean, I could be wrong. I heard somebody else mention that today on a
I'm
stream.
sure they were rainbow.
Yeah, you're probably right about that, especially with Pedro anyway. No, but look, is it terrible? No, it's not terrible.
It's not
But
terrible.
there's really
Which is what I said before. Same time, Joyce. I said it's not terrible.
that. Yes, what I will say, all right, and Bobby, if Geode was in this movie, it it might have improved it. I'm not sure. Um, the thing of it is it's not offensive. You're not gonna lose any sleep over it. But I will be honest, the action scenes for me did really not do anything for me.
They were
And I
boring.
thought there was some very nonsensical and very plot convenient and plot contrivance that happens a lot. For
Yeah.
some reason,
Oh man, the plot
Grogu has the
contrivances.
force, but then in moments where he could use it, he doesn't use it. Like it doesn't
Look,
make any sense. He's
the,
not
the
stupid. Like he's
the plot
aware.
contrivances in this movie are exponential, and they happen every 15 minutes. Some other plot contrivance comes up. Something that should not happen happens. Like boom, like all of a sudden, this one guy who's running away and is lost sees his buddies fly by and immediately shows up right where they land. Right? I mean, it's contrivance. It's bullshit. It's things that shouldn't happen. Oh, I need this to happen so the plot can move forward.
Okay.
And that is a plot contrivance. It is something that shouldn't logically happen.
Yes.
That does happen because you have to make it happen so the plot moves forward.
It is, and yeah, Eric says I just looked, and yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, if you're talking about the cockpit, maybe, um, and so yeah, a lot of things really just happen for the sake of moving the plot along. And so you can't look too deep into it. You can't look for logic in a lot of it. At one point, Grogu gets into a baby carriage that a woman was just pushing. Now, it's one of the kind that floats, right? It's a Star Wars. And then
okay,
all of a
okay,
sudden it goes 100 fucking miles an hour.
Rewind a second. Rewind a second. Rewind a second. Okay. You've got this mass monster battle that's taking place. And then all of a sudden the monsters get released. And all of a sudden, you know what? We are in Men in Black. Okay, this is Will Smith deciding to shoot the little girl with the science books and not all the other monsters running around just kind of working out, doing their thing. So all these monsters run out and they're doing this bullshit. And this woman, this Rodarian woman is screaming and like grabs her child and leaves the pram. And then Grogu pops in the tram. And then guess what? Star Wars prams have controls for the babies to use. The babies can pilot the pram.
Yes.
The baby can pilot the pram at 150 miles an hour to anywhere it wants to go. It can fly. The pram can fly. It's not just hovering. It can fly now.
No, it's like I literally, I think I even wrote it down in my notes. Okay, so do we want to do any spoilers? Chat,
let's do
you
it.
give a shit about spoilers or not?
Spoiler content.
There's nothing to spoil.
Forward.
So if you don't want to hear it, tune out. And if you don't give a shit, because there's nothing to spoil. Okay, I'm just going to be honest with you. There's really nothing to spoil. And yes, Jabba speaks in English. He also refers to himself as a man.
No. Well, I mean,
or not Jabba. Rada literally refers to himself as a man. He wants to become his own man. The dialogue doesn't even fucking make sense. Okay, he literally says he wants to be his own man. And
look,
he didn't like living under Jabba's shadow.
The Rada diatribes that go on in this movie
twice
are absolute twice. Yes, twice.
He says the same thing.
Totally ridiculous.
He says the same thing to Mando twice in jail twice.
Rada is the man. Apparently he is.
Yeah,
that's how he got abs, by the way. That's how blood got abs. It doesn't have musculature.
So you guys have probably seen a lot of the opening movie. The first 25 minutes of the movie or 20 minutes of the movie were shown previously. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of clips. It's got the AT-ATs and it's got the little walker in it and they're, in the snow. And that's just kind of setting up like, Mando's on a mission, right? They're on a mission and they have to take out somebody or try to capture someone. He ends up killing the guy. That the New Republic's trying to capture. And then he reports back to Sigourney Weaver, and she is not thrilled, but she rewards him with a brand new ship.
Just out of the blue. Okay, hold on. So let me get this straight. Okay, this guy is supposed to be a bounty hunter. A bounty hunter. So he does things for money, right? But he always refuses the money.
Yeah, he always refuses the money.
This happened in season 1 and season 2 of the TV show. So there's this movie, and it pisses me off because this is a martial arts movie, supposedly. And it was written by David Mamet, who's this wonderful playwright who's done all those wonderful things. And he's wrote this movie called Red Belt. And it's about a martial arts instructor who runs a martial arts school who doesn't want to make money, who only wants it. He's there for the purity of teaching the art. Okay. So he doesn't care that his school's going bankrupt and he's going to have to close his doors when he has somebody who can pay him some money if he teaches them. He doesn't give a shit about that. Right. And so this is supposed to be moral integrity and hierarchy. He's like, fuck you. I have to feed me and my family. I have to keep my studio open with the lights on. Okay, Mandalorian has to keep his ship in working order. He has to be able to eat, feed the baby, and fly around and keep himself armed so
But he
he can
always has
do his
credits
freaking
though.
job. He always has
And he gives
credits.
them away like he has plenty of money though. That's the thing. Because he
These people do not understand money, and this is why they love socialism and they love communism because they don't fucking understand money.
so the first couple of the first mission is just kind of getting you into the action. It's a big action piece, the whole
And
thing
so what we
basically.
learned from this first mission is that Mando's a dumbass. Okay.
Well, also though, what I found fascinating is everybody talks about how the movie is made. This is for kids. They're like, this is made for kids. But like in the opening scene, we see Mando light people on fire. They burn alive. Snow troopers burning alive.
Yeah.
He tosses a trooper over a cliff, and it shows him hitting his body on a ledge, like 70 feet down and then smashing off of the ledge. And I'm like, this for kids? I'm like, this burning people alive. And I mean, it's there. I mean, you see it and then literally throwing a dude over the cliff and you see the guy just go smash, and I'm like, damn, man, like, is this for kids? Because there are a couple things in this movie that, if you were a parent, you had young children, I'm not, I have
Do
heard a
you
report that
remember
somebody
what
left the movie after that
do
part
you
happened. They took their
remember what
kids.
happened in the opening season of episode 1 of The Mandalorian?
Absolutely. When he
The
pulls the
door
guy
and
back, the door, it cuts the guy in
cut the guy
half.
in half,
Right. I mean,
right?
it would have been nice if they kept to that. The problem is once you introduce Grogu into the show, it changes the entire thing.
Yeah.
So, but what I was going to
And
say
if you've ever
is
been a fan of Lone Wolf and Cub, that's what everybody hoped it would be, and it's not.
no. But nonetheless, Sigourney Weaver's acting. Um, I
I thought
mean,
it was fine. People were bagging her for Razzies and stuff. I thought she was
I'm not
fine
gonna
for
say
what
a
she was given.
Razzie, but like, there's nothing there.
There's nothing there, but at the same time,
Um,
she played her part fine. I mean, there was nothing
okay,
extraordinary about it. There
so,
wasn't anything to degrade about it. I didn't think.
no. I'm not gonna say that. I'm just gonna say it's extremely flat. It's
Yeah.
just flat as hell. There's nobody has emotion in this movie, by the way.
Well, the whole
It's-
movie is brown colored shit. So
yeah,
I mean,
but
they
like
sepia tone it to brown.
Pedro Pascal, at no point is there emotion in his voice. It is
No.
he does not have any emotion, no matter who's in trouble, no matter what's happening. But
So
but
I
yes,
mean,
there is a fight scene. There's a fight scene that happens, okay, because Mando ends up getting captured. He's going after this guy. He's going after Rod of
hold
the
on.
Hutt.
Time out. We
All
got to
right.
rewind just a little bit. Okay, so he gets this brand new ship. Okay, this brand new ship that he's never done a goddamn thing with, and he doesn't have anything on him but what he's carrying. And Zeb comes on and says, "Hey, let's go take a look." And all of a sudden, boom, they're on the mission. They didn't bother checking the ship out. They didn't bother flying the ship around. They didn't bother looking through the stores. They didn't bother going to pick up their shit and bringing it with them. So they're in this stock ship
Yep.
with no supplies, with no weapons, with nothing as far as you're concerned. And they go off to fly on this mission. And then they land on this planet. And what does he do? He goes around and he goes up to this cafe dude and pays him a shit ton of money and says, "Hey, tell me about this." And he's like, "I don't want to talk about this." And it's Martin Scorsese.
And he
who's saying
puts
these
more
movies are
money.
shit.
He puts more
And
money
he puts
on the
more
table,
money on the
right?
table. And the guy says, "You're looking for the dude in the flashing sign that's all over fucking town."
It's like
And
right there, and
he's
it's a picture
right
of
there.
it's a picture of Rod of the Hutt from
Yep.
the Clone Wars movie. It's the
Yep.
baby version. It's the
Yeah.
baby version of him on a sign, and it's
And-
like, who
and
the
so-
fuck would know
So
that is?
the big badass bounty hunter goes to a planet where he doesn't understand the social structure of the planet. He doesn't understand who runs the fucking planet, nor does he understand to, I don't know, use his fucking eyes and pay attention to what's around him to pick up context clues to get the information that he needs. He has to go pay a dude for no information because it's right there in front of his fucking face.
It was
He's the
odd.
dumbest fucking bounty hunter ever.
It was odd because yes, he literally just goes, "Oh, you mean like you don't know who that? He's right there." And then it's just like then you see the signs for the gladiatorial combat arena and all that shit.
And then he
Um,
asks who's in who's in charge or whatever, and the guy won't. He asks about something else, and the guy says he won't talk about it, whatever. But it's basically if you know the how the social structure of the planet worked, if you did one iota of investigation, if you read one news report from the fucking planet, you would know this information.
well, and one thing, and what's up, Ocean View? So one thing that Shane says, he says, but the baby bounced on the bed. That's a reference to when they go in the Razor Crest. It's brand new, and because they haven't had this ship since it got blown up for no, because Hasbro was extremely pissed about that. Um,
Yeah, because they
it
just
show
sold a bunch of
it
them, or were
it
about
it,
to.
it shows Gronku jumping up and down on the bed. You remember, and it plays a little lighthearted music, and he's like jumping on the bed and he's laughing. So in one scene, they portray Grogu as like this fucking kid that's like a year old twisting knobs and doesn't understand the buttons in the Razor Crest ship when
He's 50 fucking years old. He's
but
over
then
50 years
yeah,
old.
then they portray him in other times where he does know what's going on because later in the movie he like builds a hut reminiscent of Yoda. He takes care of the Mandalorian because he's got poison in him from a fight. He's got like so on one hand they portray him as actually being competent, and then on the other hand they portray him as being a stupid fucking baby. And
Yeah.
so there's no there's no
The power consistency
consistency.
is
Yes.
not there. I mean, in terms of his force abilities, his intelligence, Mandalorian's combat abilities and intelligence are also variable depending on plot points, and it's really jarring how
It,
fast they shift from one to the other.
because yes, it is out of convenience that things do happen. I mean, they just do. It's I don't know how you could see it and not understand that like, oh, that was quite convenient that this
Yeah.
happened. Now,
Now, I have to say, I texted Pop this right away. I was like, so long and boring, and I'm only 30 minutes in. This is the first 30 minutes of the movie, and
uh,
nothing's happened, and he's an idiot.
Cooter's Garage, what's going on? Ocean View says, hey, you have to see it at least twice. It's awesome. I know Shane had texted me after he saw it because he really liked it too. And look, that's fantastic. I am only giving what I felt about it. Again, we said earlier, so it's not terrible.
That's
It's just
terrible.
there is a lot of convenience in it. There's a lot of things that just either
And
a don't make
if you
sense.
if you go in knowing that there's a lot of plot contrivance and there's a lot of nothing, and this is all candy, and there's nothing of substance in this entire thing, and you just want to see cute little Grogu do stuff, this is the movie for you.
Shane's like, I could see the movie. No, we're not done yet, Shane. No, we're not
We
done.
ain't even
You haven't
halfway
heard.
there.
You haven't heard my notes yet. Don't concede, okay? Just we'll see, okay? Because I don't think it sucked. I don't think the movie sucked. It's just it was very junk foodish, right? Like there's
Yeah.
no nutrients here. There's nothing to sink your teeth into. It literally is very just. It's about 4 episodes of the Mandalorian show in season 4
One
is what it
two-parter
should
and
be.
2 separate episodes after.
I mean, in all honesty, like that's really what it is. It's like, and
Yeah.
there's even breaks. Here's something I had in my notes. There's even breaks in the movie that would literally be like the end of an episode,
Yep.
and then you
So,
pick back up to like the
like I
next
said,
episode. It
so
has
you
those
you could
breaks in
you
it.
could end the episode when he leaves on the Razor Crest, and then the
Hmm.
next episode starts when he gets to the planet. You go through the
100%.
next 30 minutes. You get the next episode, and you could see that the first 2 episodes are part 1 and 2, and the last 2 episodes don't necessarily have to be a part 1 and 2. They can be 2 separate episodes, even though they continue the story. But these are clearly marked as 4 episodes of a TV show.
Now, we were talking earlier about, so he does go to this planet, all right, and he's trying to basically he tries to pay for Rada's freedom because he goes to visit Rada the Hutt and he's locked. He
So
sees
hey,
that he's a
like,
he's a
I,
gladiator, right?
I got something to say. So he walks into this bar and he walks up. and he finds the devil wearing a priest outfit. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
Disney put a devil wearing a priest outfit as the last buffer between the guy he wanted to see.
Now,
Okay, go ahead.
so they give him the business, right? I didn't want to get into the whole salt thing. They give him the business. He's looking for somebody to say, "Oh, you're in the wrong place." Okay, fine. Yeah, you're in the wrong place. And so the guy has two horns. Uh, and the devil guy's got two horns kind of facing down. And he says, "You're in the wrong place." And then he sicks his goons on Mando. Mando absolutely destroys everybody in the bar. And then he cuts one of the guy's horns. He literally cuts the end of it off, right, in half. And so the door opens and this guy steps out. Okay, he's the guy that Mando's looking for. And he wants to free Rada because he's been hired by these two Hutts, okay, his aunt
Whose
and
names are
uncle.
brother and sister.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is, they have no names.
yeah.
They are literally called brother and sister.
So they have hired Mando to rescue Rada. Now, um, we find out why later, but he goes to get him out, and he finds out that he's a gladiator and he's fighting. He has one fight left under his contract, and then his debt is paid off. We don't really know all about it. That's the basics, right? So, but Mando's like, hey, I just want to buy him out, and take him back to his aunt and uncle and buy him out. What's it going to take? And the guy who's in charge of it all, who owns Rod of the Hutt, he's like, no, he's got one more fight. And, but then he tells Mando, yeah,
He
he's got
just
one more
tells him.
fight.
He
And
just
then,
tells him.
and then
Just offers up
he's
this
gonna
information.
die. We're gonna kill him.
We're
He
gonna
thinks
kill
he's
him.
gonna be free, but no, we're gonna kill him. And then he offers Mando to become one of his fighters. And I'm like, wait a minute, you just told him that even if you win,
Even
we're
if you
gonna kill
win, I'm
you.
gonna kill you.
So
because that's the ultimate fate. So I don't have to free anybody, and I don't have to pay anybody.
I was like, what
anything.
the fuck? So Mando says no thanks. He goes back to tell Rada in jail. He sneaks into the jail or the under the arena, right, where he's being kept. And he tells him, hey, they're going to kill you. And Rada doesn't believe him. And the whole reason why Rada the Hutt is he hated being Jabba's son. So he's his own man now. He's a gladiator champion. People chant his name. They love him. So he doesn't believe that he's going to get killed. So he gives Mando this speech twice about, being his own man, and he grew up under Jabba and his dad was terrible, blah, blah, blah. People were scared of him. That's why they respected him. So anyway.
He wants to feed the baby.
Yes, he does. He asks if Grogu can come into the cage.
No. He asked to feed him. He doesn't ever say come in the cage, but he wants to toss him some food.
He does toss him food, but eventually Grogu walks into the cage. Remember, he walks in there But anyway, so the fight. What happens is Mando is discovered. He gets captured.
How does he get captured? Hold on. How does he get captured?
Go ahead.
They pump the room full of gas. Right. So his helmet does nothing.
Yeah, his helmet doesn't do shit.
His helmet doesn't do shit. It's a piece of plastic, metal, whatever, Beskar, and it does shit. It doesn't stop gas from getting in. It doesn't stop him. He's not a rebreather. It does bullshit. Nothing.
Yeah, it's and you've seen that. You've seen them do that before in other shows too with the Stormtroopers.
I know, but it pisses me off to no end.
Why
would Stormtroopers have air filters on their masks?
Right. I agree. But you're right. It is the same thing they do. They pump gas in there. So he wakes up. He's forced to enter the ring, and he's supposed to be the final match for Rada, and then supposedly Rada thinks he's going to be free. And so Mando's trying to convince him, hey, listen, I don't want to fight you. Well, Rada attacks him, and then this is where... Okay, do you remember when Mando gave up the Darksaber to Bo-Katan? He just goes, oh, you beat me. Even though there's no fight, right? Like, there's nothing. Yeah. And he just gives it up. The same thing happens. He gets Rada's axe from him somehow, okay? And then he just tosses it on the ground and he goes, Rada the Hutt is the victor. He is now free. And that's literally how he says it. Rada is the victor. I concede the fight. He has now paid his debt and he should be free. And then the guy in charge says, nope, you're both going to die. And then it's the degenerate game. Remember from Star Wars, the chess game that C3PO and
Yeah,
Chewbacca
because they're
play?
on the board. They're on the chessboard, just like a Falcon. And you bring out all the creatures from the movie, from the Falcon, all those holographic creatures. They're all here now to bash these guys on the chessboard. Look at that! Isn't that cool?
Now, they fight these monsters, okay? And exactly, Cypher, see? Exactly, right? Use the helmet to be able to breathe, but somehow gas knocks him out. He gets captured. Plot convenience. So anyway, they fight the monsters. They're getting beat up back and forth, back and forth, and then somehow one of the monsters is like an electrical little thing. He sparks, and he has like sparks and electricity, and he gets thrown up into the top of the gladiator ring.
Which is
has
an
these, like,
electrical fence.
it's an electrical fence that prevents, I guess, anybody from getting out. And this electrical creature gets thrown into it, and it shorts out the fence. The monsters realize this,
They stop.
and they
and
stop
say,
fighting,
huh,
and
huh.
yes, and
Oh,
they start
let's escape.
they start crawling out. Now, this is something I wrote down, and it really, really got on my nerves. Okay. The monsters are causing havoc in the arena. They make their way outside. How many people do you think that they eat or rip apart or tear in half? How many bystanders and spectators do you think they slash or claw or chomp their head off or cut their leg off? How many people? Nobody. You know what they do? Every monster, the only thing they do, they toss people out of the way. Now, there is this like snake slug like thing that kind of like bites this guy on his top of his body, but he just throws him. He doesn't bite him in half.
Eat him.
He doesn't eat him. He just throws him. So, these big monsters, they don't do anything but throw people around. That's it. They just toss them around like rag dolls.
Remember that comment for later, because when we get to the white snake, I have comments on that one that is similar to this.
Okay. So that's where the baby scene happens, where the woman with the stroller, she gets scared, the baby and her, they out of the way. And then Grogu just takes off running and hops into this.
Okay, so Rada finds
Rada
a speeder.
escapes. Yeah, he takes a sand speeder, some shit like that.
In this battle, they made an agreement to work together to get out of here.
Yes.
And then they get out of here, and Mando's like, hey, I'm going to take you somewhere. And he's
back
like,
to your aunt and uncle. And he's like, fuck you, I'm out of here.
Fuck you. He gets in the speeder and he takes off. So Grogu gets in the pram and takes off. And Mando has his jetpack apparently still, I guess. I don't know. I guess he starts flying
that's
off,
the weird
whatever.
part, right? Because how does he get his
jetpack back?
Okay, because his stuff was locked up. Remember, he looks at his weapons when he was locked up before the fight started, and his weapons are there, and his shit is there, and he can't access none of it. So then that's where Grogu, he literally just hops in this pram, and the handlebars go down like a roller coaster ride or something. Yeah. And all of a sudden,
hey, you think that might be coming on the Disney parks next year?
You already know. Smuggler's Run.
Can we have the pram ride for the kids?
Dude, that fucking thing is doing like 150, 250 miles an hour down the city streets of this place, chasing after Rada the Hutt. And so they end up getting Rada.
Yeah.
And they get him in the ship, and he captures him, right? He's got to capture him, and retain him. Or whatever, and so he can take him back. And then
next major plot contrivance coming up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What does he say?
You tell me. Hang on. Tell me what he says, because I'm looking through my notes.
When they capture him, they get him in the ship, and they're bringing him back, and he wants to uncuff him because he says, "We can't go through this whole way with you being cuffed." Why the fuck not? You're a bounty hunter. You can do that. What does Rada tell him? He finds out that they're looking for this mysterious guy that doesn't have a face, and he says, well, that was that guy that you just rescued me from. If you don't go get him now, then you'll never get another chance to get him. He's the guy you're looking for. So they were going to sell you the wrong information. So the brother and sister Hutt were going to fuck over the New Republic people, of course, because they're fucking Huts and that's what they do. They're gangsters. And
Yes.
not give them the information until after it's too late that that was the guy that you
The
wanted.
Imperial warlord who
Yeah,
they don't know what he looked like when Sigourney Weaver gave him this card to look at
yeah.
and said, "Hey, you need to find this guy." But Rod of the
The
Hutt,
deck of cards.
yeah, it's that's the guy that was in charge, the guy that tried to hire him for his fighting pit, the guy that puts on the fights. That's the Imperial warlord guy, right? So it then becomes that he's got to capture this guy, right?
Yep.
He's got to capture him, and and he does, like, he does capture him, and they do get Rada back, and so they show back up to Sigourney Weaver, and he walks in, and they he turns him in.
So hold on. That's a major thing, though. They had this whole big battle. They went in there and they captured this gangster. I mean, that's like 30 minutes of the film,
It
and
really
and
is.
you just blew past it. They just turned right around, and they got this guy, and you have all these. So it looks like the same shooting location that they shot on Solo, by the way, with the desert when they were surveilling
Yeah.
the place. Um, Action scene every 5 minutes. A slow speeder chase scene that happened. And then you have the bypass the exhaust restrictors
Okay,
compressor
yes. So I have it in
situation.
my notes. He literally says, about with the ship or whatever. He says Mando asks Rada to bypass the exhaust restrictors, and then you have Zeb who says, "I'm a flyer, not a medneck," which is like a fucking Star Trek reference.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, it came across, it was so odd, like the dialogue, but he literally asked Rada to bypass the exhaust restrictors. And I'm like,
And then
bypass the
Mando
compressor, Gray?
Mando refuses money
He
again.
refuses money.
Refuses money again. And then so we're an hour in now, and we finished 2 episodes. So now we're on to the third episode.
See, the
Um,
main thing is, like, I wanted to get to where, they
we,
turn this guy in, and go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say we've got the bounty hunter coming up.
Yeah, because, so
He
Rada
betrayed the brother and
takes
sister.
off, okay?
So he betrayed the brother and sister.
Yes, Sigourney Weaver, she tells him, she says, "Look, you didn't do as the Hutts wanted you to do. You betrayed them, and that may come back to bite you later." So Rada takes off on his own, right? Takes off on his own to
And he
go
thanks
wherever the
Mando
fuck
for
he's
letting
gonna
him
go.
go, and he's like, "All
Thanks
right, you're
him.
the great guy. Hey,
Thanks him
this
for
little
letting him
guy's
go.
really good. He's
Yep.
got a future. He's just like me. I was just like him, so he's gonna be, a good guy." And he refuses. Mando refuses the money. Um, yeah, and so
So he and Grogu, they
they
fly
go back
back to their
home. They
homestead.
go home
And so
with their
he's
two ships now because they have the Naboo speeder and this one now.
and this one, and also the Babu Fricks
The
show up.
Babu Fricks show up. Yeah, they come.
The
You
Anzellans, the
so
Babu
so
Fricks
you
show up.
take a whole bunch of time him tracking the speeder that's coming in. The speeder speeding towards him. Who's that speeder that's speeding towards him? Oh, it's the Babu Fricks that he has to come by to make the modifications that he had originally made on his previous Razor Crest that he wants them to make on this Razor Crest. So he gives them all the
Yes.
technical. We waste so much time on this guy speeding across the desert, him meeting up with them and telling them how to modify his ship in techno jargon that serves no point in the plot whatsoever.
No, it actually literally it doesn't serve any point
It
because none of
doesn't.
that is used. It's not in any way really relevant at all. It's just a way to shoehorn in the Babu Fricks and to give them
And
a
to say, hey, you need to make this like my old one.
yeah.
And all you had to do is say, hey, here are my technical specs to make this the best that it is. Go make it. Okay, boom, you're done.
It
You didn't need to spend 10 minutes bringing these guys over, having Grogu interact with them. Now you must behave with them, and all this other bullshit.
So they brought in, they brought back the Anzellans, those little miniature dudes, right? and the
I don't
Babu
even know what
Frick.
the Babu
They
Frick. Yeah.
they bring in Zeb from Rebels. Okay, he is
Yep.
a co-pilot early on in this movie. He is kind of his partner now, a pilot with him when he goes on these missions with the New Republic. And so, Zeb's not terrible in the movie. He's not terrible at all.
Hey, at least he's voiced by the same guy who voiced him in the animated show.
I will say that the escape scene when they do capture the warlord, I'm sure you guys have also seen that scene. It's been played quite a bit where there's troopers, they're chasing after him and they've got the bald headed guy in the front seat and Zeb is shooting and Grogu is in the Razor Crest and Mando's going, no, remember, it's not, press the button. It's the one between the exhaust manifold button and the laser cannons. Make sure you don't press that button, okay? Do you have it, Grogu? Okay. And then they fire a missile and it fucking, almost blows him up.
I
And
don't think he
no.
understands.
Yeah. Zeb's like, he doesn't know what he's doing. And then Mando's like, no. No, that's the wrong button. You need to press the other button, Grogu. That is not the right button.
Remember, the one with the safety is for weapons. Don't flip the safety off. So he flips the safety off and fires another thing.
So it's so, like I said, it's just so goofy and they escape. Okay, so I just want to make sure we got that out of the way. That chase scene is so flat. It's so boring. Of an escape scene.
Another boring action
just,
scene.
Yeah,
Can you imagine
nothing.
so many boring action scenes in one movie?
That's what's so wild about it, because they all were really
the action's
flat.
not bad. The action's not bad, but it doesn't have a narrative. This is what they're missing from their action scenes. Their action scenes do not tell a story. They do not go from point A to point B, telling a story along the way. Every action scene that has merit at all ever has a story to tell. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end to the story. You watch any fight movie that has its weight worth in salt, anything, any action movie ever, there's meat to the action scenes. They pace out the action scenes. And if you look at the 80s action movies, there were only a couple action set pieces that they had. And it's because they were poignant points of the story to tell. And this is just action for action's sake.
Because it probably, and we'll bring up an article here in a minute when we wrap this up. I'll bring up an article about something that Jon Favreau said that there's
so much salt, Shane.
It's interesting, but as far as it just kind of being one thing after another, there's a reason for that. I think we figure out what that reason is. But anyway, so basically, the Babu Frick show up to hook up his ship, right? Fix it up, whatever. Make modifications. Meanwhile, he notices something on the radar ship. Somebody comes in. He cuts all the lights off of shit, and they go to hide.
I have a major question here.
Yeah.
This bounty hunter.
They don't even say his name, by the way.
Doesn't matter. Is a droid.
He is a droid. It's very,
Why
at least from what I could tell.
Why does a droid show up like a predator on the heat scope when he's looking for the droid and he sees the droid running?
Right.
Why does it show up as a heat body that goes by?
So here's the deal. The Hutts send a bounty hunter to get Mando. All right. And he is successful. He does track him. He's got these wolves with him. He is from a couple other shows from the Disney Star Wars universe, bounty hunter, but they never mention his name. It's in a way it's kind of
the
odd,
Star Wars live stream today that released the action figures in the vintage and the black scale told you his name because he was in a previous episode of the show. You should know that.
Yeah,
because he was in the animated show.
He does throw his hat like a trash can lid or like a yeah, I don't know, something like that.
Well,
anyway,
he uses it to block the blast.
He blocks blast. He can throw it and shit. He can use it as like a snow when he snowing. He can use it as one of like those circular sleds you can sled down a. Anyway, so here's the deal.
And he's got captured. The wolf. He's got the wolf.
He does have
Trapper
the wolf.
Wolf loves the wolf. Trapper Wolf loves the wolf.
So he gets captured.
Dave Filoni's Trapper Wolf.
They take him back to the Hutts. Okay. And so then the story really at that point, okay, Mando's with the Hutts. He's been captured. Grogu and the Babu Fricks now kind of have to figure out, like, what to do. Well, somehow they figure out where the bounty hunter took Mandalorian. And I don't know how they did that.
The
Like,
Babu Fricks are omniscient, okay? They have a little tiny spacecraft and they're taking Grogu with them. But, Grogu's come up with this plan as a baby who doesn't understand bullshit, but he's 50 years old, but whatever. Comes up with this plan to get the Babu Fricks to go with him so that they can rescue their brother and that he can get Mando, right? So they're copacetic with this. They went from bad baby to, okay, we'll help you with our little tiny spaceship. And they go off. So he finds friends. He pulls together his team to come up with this rescue mission, and their ship is so small that it avoids detection from the Hutt starcraft, which look strangely like, I don't know, the ones we saw in Return of the Jedi, but with wings and a canopy over front of it.
Yeah.
So remember those from Return of the Jedi? Anyway,
it's
they avoid those and fly under into the jungle, and they immediately find their friend.
Yeah.
The Babu Frick that was captured by the wolf, who the wolf should have eaten.
Oh, that's right. One of the Fricks got captured along with Mando. That's right.
So we can't forget this whole conversation. Right. In the bounty hunter spaceship as he's bringing him back to the Hutts, and the wolf is kind of playing with the Babu Frick guy, but he hasn't eaten him. What kind of wolf is that?
Yeah, he's tossing. He's playing with him like a dog plays with like a plush chew toy, to give him, and they kind of toss it around.
And so his teeth are kind of gnawing into him, but not doing any damage apparently, because teeth mean nothing, and we'll get back to that again in a minute.
It was interesting because he's just kind of tossing him around and doesn't. I don't get it. I don't know. It's obvious they weren't going to kill this Babu Frick, but it was just
because Mando apparently was, even though he was captured, still had all his supplies on him because he had some food that he could toss the fucking wolf to distract him to get the Babu Frick on his side of the cage to save him.
The bounty hunter, he's in the ship somewhere else. The wolf
wanted the blue macaroon, dude. Those are macaroons. I mean, those are fucking macaroons.
They are macaroons. so Mando is behind bars. The Babu Frick is like being guarded by this wolf. The bounty hunter is a different part of the ship. And Mando is basically able to use the macaroon to distract the wolf. Then the Babu Frick runs over to the cage to get away from the wolf, and he makes it through.
Barely
makes it through.
So exciting.
And then he's hiding behind Mando, and then somehow he's able to escape through, I guess, a vent shaft. I don't fucking know. And you're right. Grogu and the other Babu Fricks, they run into their friends somehow in this jungle.
Immediately. I mean, no.
Immediately.
Okay, so then when they land and they pull Mando off the thing, nobody knows the Babu Frick is there except for the wolf and Mando, right? But the Babu Frick hides or does whatever. They pull Mando off to go to the Hutts, and the Babu Frick runs out of the spaceship into the jungle. And he just so happens to see his family ship come in the jungle into the mysterious hidden jungle right where he's at. And so he follows it and tracks it down and immediately meets up with his friends. Plot contrivance, right? I mean,
yes, very, very convenient and a contrivance. Nonetheless, so Mando gets taken to the Hutts. All right. Yep. Now, this is a scene you guys have probably also seen where they remove his helmet.
Oh, yeah, no, it's to dishonor him.
Yes, it's to dishonor him. Now, here's the deal.
It just gets so good.
To me, it makes no sense, this whole conversation. They remove his helmet. They make a mention of how expensive Beskar is. Okay.
And they say it dishonors him, which is in a very small cult of Mandalorians. Not
Extremely smart. How would they even know that? Okay, so they mention how expensive the his Beskar is. They talk about how they are dishonoring him. Of course, he says something to the effect about he's gonna kill them or whatever, right? Like
Oh yeah,
it's
no, no,
not
no. So
dishonoring him if
to
they're
restore his honor,
yes.
anyone who any and so they changed the premise. Okay, so right here they changed the entire premise that the TV show had built up and say it's dishonorable for an enemy to see your face. Okay, that just changed the premise because the premise was anyone to see your face, and now it's an enemy. And then he says, "Not if I kill you all." And they're like, "Ha ha ha ha, very funny." So if he kills all the people that saw his face, he's good.
Yeah, because you're right. It really did change the whole premise and really the whole
Because that
meaning
was the premise
of
from season
all
one
of
through
that.
three
Right.
of Mandalorian was anyone who sees his face.
Yes. So so you guys remember
Otherwise,
when
he would have been on that planet with Gina Carano and stayed there with that woman and had
oh
wonderful
yeah.
relations with
Remember
her.
that
Because,
remember that
yeah,
episode?
yeah.
Uh so do you guys remember in Return of the Jedi when Jabba the Hutt had a trap door and he would drop people down into the Rancor pit?
Oh my gosh! You
Guess
think we
what
might see
these
that again?
guess what these
Member
huts
berries,
have?
member berries.
They have a trap door. They have a trap door, and guess what happens? Not only do they, after they commented about how expensive and what the best car is worth, not only do they
No,
drop
hold on,
Mando.
hold on. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say
All
it.
right,
Don't say it yet.
all right,
Okay, because we have two more things to cover. So
okay.
yes, and while he's being dropped down to this pit, and all of a sudden these snake things are attacking him, and he's fighting them off with
Oh no, wait.
magical weapons
They
that he's
drop him
finding.
down in the pit, and then they
No, no,
fucking
no,
throw
they
his
don't.
helmet.
No.
What?
No, they don't.
They
No, they
did.
don't. No, they don't. Listen, he has to fight off these snake creatures. Right? These snake creatures are coming at him from all sides.
You got the
And he's
big
got to,
white
and
snake.
no. We're not there yet.
Oh, that's right. You're right. It's not. Those the other ones, right? They all show up. That's right.
These weird snake creatures, and he's fighting them all off. While he's fighting them off, Grogu and the Babu Fricks find their way into the tunnel system, and they have to go through scenes that look just like, I don't know, Han Solo and Chewbacca in a prison cell in Return of the Jedi with the way the light comes down. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
Do you remember that? Because it's right here as they're passing through. And I mean, do you remember it? Because here it is again, as they're looking for him, as they're trying to find out where he's at, and he defeats all these snake creatures and he kills them. And the Hutts are so impressed with how well he did, they throw him back his helmet.
Yeah, they. So not only did they drop him down in there with this very expensive, which you would think that they would want because it's worth a fortune, but yeah, because he fights off the snakes, yeah, they toss the fucking helmet down in there, which makes no sense to me.
How does this make sense? You have this priceless helmet that you could make as a trophy that you caught this Mandalorian, and you have his helmet in your repertoire of trophies, or you could melt it down and sell it. Whatever. It's worth a lot. You just say, "Oh, you did really well, so we're going to toss you back your helmet." But you want this guy dead. What? Why the fuck would you do that?
And they'll never go down there because unlike the Rancor, who had a trainer, okay, a handler, that let's just say if this same thing happened with Jabba, they could go in and retrieve the armor and keep it, and there's your trophy, right? But this is the main baddie down here is this gigantic, and you guys have seen it in the trailers. It's this giant white snake. Okay, it's this big white snake, and I'm sure Pedro Pascal loved wrangling and wrestling a giant white snake. So,
I mean, his Jewish boyfriend would probably say the same, but
that's true. Uh, so he fights the snake. Okay,
he beats the snake.
He beats the snake, but he gets poisoned.
Oh no! Okay. Here we go. Okay, so again, here we go. This giant white snake takes half his body in his mouth and can't figure out how to bite down or swallow the entire
And
person.
think about how big he is. Remember, think about his size.
He's
Okay, think about how
gigantic.
big, because at the end of the movie we'll get to why this matters. Okay,
Okay, so
Mando is not very large relative to this snake. This snake is a very very large creature. Okay,
remember when the Rancor went gulp, gulp, gulp and ate up that fucking Gomerian guard, right? This white snake is larger than the Rancor
oh
in
yeah,
Return of the Jedi. And it sits
absolutely.
there and bites down on the Mandalorian, but can't bite him in half. So he tosses him around, doesn't swallow him like the Sarlacc pit or anybody else would have, right? Just hangs around and gums the motherfucker and tries to kill him with their gums, not their teeth, but one tooth gets in and poisons him, right? So teeth don't matter in this because the wolf's teeth didn't matter because this creature's teeth didn't matter. So teeth are as pointless as lightsabers in Dave
In the
Filoni's
chest.
universe because clearly they don't puncture or kill or harm anyone because the Mandalorian is fine, even though he's been poisoned with this giant gaping wound in his side. As soon as he gets free, which we'll get to in a second, he's fucking fine until Grogu leaves him.
Yeah,
But
until
anyway,
he's not.
until he's
Okay.
not.
But he is. And Shane, take it easy, man. Have a good night, buddy. I will talk to you soon, brother. Um, so he is able to get free. Okay, but he's been bitten, and what I guess the next really the next part of the movie. Okay. Uh,
Okay, so the Babu Fricks and Grogu, they find him. He sees them. They put a thermal detonator on the thing, and they run away. Even though Grogu's like, "Wait, I just put this thermal detonator on here. Should I run away?" There's Mando. Oh wait, I need to run away now because I'm a baby and I forgot that this is an explosive device that I just planted and have to avoid. And Mandalorian sees this after he grabbed his helmet and put it on finally after he's fighting the snake thing, and then fighting kills the fucking snake, and the explosion happens, and the Babu Fricks and Grogu they get out and they go running away, and they get back to the little tiny spaceship,
yeah.
and Mando's like, "You go, I have to stay," and the Babu Fricks are like, "No, Mando, come. We can take care of you. We can get you in here. Yeah, maybe they've got some technology. Maybe they can do something. Maybe they can get him out of there." But no, Mando says, "I'm gonna go distract these guys and be the selfless hero because I'm the man." And Grogu gets in the spaceship and leaves. Right, that's what we see happens as Mando goes running through the forest, and he's like, "Oh, I'm getting tired. Oh, wait, but he's fighting off all these things and he's doing just fine." And then all of a sudden he falls over because he's been poisoned.
Yeah. Yeah. Falls over.
And then the insects come out.
Yeah, these insects come out to like basically consume his body,
Yep.
right? And then Grogu.
I disagree, Puff. The music wasn't good.
I thought the music was good for what it was. The guy that did the soundtrack, I do like what he's done. I thought it was different. You
It was
know,
different.
I don't think this
There's
movie
more like,
deserves symphonic music.
okay, that's fair.
It did have wipes. There
Yeah,
was a screen wipes. And
that's
I'm
fair.
finding something positive. I mean, look, there are some things. I mean, look, we're having fun with it, but
Yeah,
it's just because every time a scene would happen, I would be like, oh come on,
yeah.
it's like, oh come on. And then let's see, bugs try to consume his body, and then this is where Grogu comes back
as soon
to
as the
save
bug,
him.
as soon as the bug is crawling in his mouth, Grogu comes up and eats the bug
Yeah, eats the bug.
because he's a
Now,
baby who eats bugs and frogs and other things.
this is really kind of where the movie really slows down.
Yeah, man, you hit a fucking wall. Okay, where in the previous hour and a half of the movie, there's been an action scene every 5 minutes. Okay,
Yeah.
now we have 30 minutes where there's no action.
Now you have to understand the Razor Crest is not here on this planet. Okay. And so they don't have a big ship like that. And so it's really kind of like, how are we going to get off this planet, right? How are we going to get out of here?
But
So
Grogu found a ship.
Grogu, yes. Okay. Um, so so really the next part of the movie is he drags Mando, he stuffs his body in a log, and then he dies, and that's it. That's the end, guys. So I hope you enjoyed
over.
it. No, no.
Woo!
So there's a scene where he's using the force, right? And he's using the force to push his body into this log, and he keeps ramming his fucking head over and over because he gets stuck
Okay.
halfway through the fucking
Okay.
log, and he keeps
So
running him in there like 3 times.
I have to confess. I have to confess. The first time that he built the Yoda hut,
He builds a Yoda hut.
and puts him in there, and he goes thunk. I did chuckle, and then he did it again because I knew it was coming. They did it again and again and again
and then again.
And then I'm like, all right.
But no, I'm with you. It was like, you're not sitting there thinking in the moment this is going to happen, and then it happens, and it was like, oh shit, okay, that's good.
I got a chuckle out of that, and then he had to cover him up with leaves and branches,
right?
His feet, while his head is inside the Yoda hut.
Now,
and then he's walking around with a Yoda staff.
He does have he has a stick, yes, a walking stick. Yes.
He's meditating with the water, trying to figure out what's going to happen. And guess what? He finds a local. He finds a local who's a fisherman out of the blue.
In the middle of a fucking swamp. He just happens upon this creature.
Yeah, Plot Contrivance.
Because he's hungry. He's hungry and he wants to eat this fish or whatever. And the fisherman notices it and he makes friends with him, kind of.
Well, so he notices it. He lets him take the fish because he's a generous fisherman who's not reliant on paying taxes or fees or other things for the fish that he catches. He just lets this creature run off with his fish. Yeah. And so he eats the fish over 3 days or whatever it is. I don't know. It takes him forever to eat the fish.
Comes back.
As he's trying to slowly, feed Mandalorian water or whatever. And then he goes back again or whatever.
He goes back again. The guy starts talking to him.
No. What the creature from Dagobah that swallowed R2 pops up out of the swamp.
Oh, that's right.
And swallows Grogu until the local guy makes the creature spit him back out like the creature spit out R2 in Empire Strikes Back. Remember that? Do you remember that? I mean, yeah.
Remember that on Dagobah?
Yeah, it's the same thing, right? and then has a nice conversation with him, gives him some food, protects him when the bounty hunter comes looking for him, tells the bounty hunter to go away, and then makes medicine for Grogu because he finds out that he's been poisoned somehow because somehow Grogu communicated with him. And
I was lost. I'm honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm like, how in the fucking hell does this guy know to like cook up this antidote food that's gonna heal him? Like, where did this happen? Because the other part of this thing too is like, even though I've got notes, and this is why I'm glad that your memory's so much better than mine, is because a lot of this movie also, when you see it, you're gonna forget a lot of stuff in a couple days. Like, it's gonna leave you. It really is like that. There's nothing in it where you're just gonna be like, oh God, that whole scene was like monumental, and that action scene. It's like, it's really, even for me, just having watched it literally just like 2 nights ago, there's parts that I completely forgot of.
So wait a minute. Okay, rewind for a second. The explosion in the small space, I had a big problem with because that explosion would have created concussive force and sound waves that would have killed them all anyway. But anyway,
sure.
They forgot about physics. But then they get out, they go back to the ship. Everybody's okay. That's the end of episode 3. We start out of the gate.
I forgot about the force heal ability too.
The force heal. Yeah. The sad music. Such sad music that they played right there. It was so sad. The insects, force healing. Then I put this in there. Retarded baby finds a stick and water and walks around and
I just thought
builds the Yoda hut.
The Yoda callback with the walking stick and all that shit. For me was like, are we
local
really
food,
doing
meditating.
this, man?
Well, okay, and then they have more eating stuff, and my comment on this was, did a woman write this? Because women have been writing eating scenes in comic books and other places for so long that when you put it in some place, it feels so out of place because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't move the story forward. It's just the baby eating and feeding the
Yeah,
Mando or whatever. It's
yeah.
just a really weird kind of thing. And then the bounty hunter's back, poisoned by the dragon snake.
That's
They
so
called it a
funny.
fucking dragon snake. It doesn't even have a cool last name. It's just a fucking dragon snake.
That's right. Yeah.
It's just a dragon snake.
Yep.
Whatever.
Dragon snake.
Um, Dumb names like the brother and sister. He takes him back, feeds him the antidote. Guess what? Boom. He's all right. Somehow he gets up, moves out of that fucking thing that barely fits his body without destroying it and without waking up the baby to go up and do his normal morning routine. Right. So these things all happen and it didn't destroy the hut. It didn't wake up the baby, whatever. And then they go back and they find Star Cruiser Crash. Remember
Okay.
the Ewok movies?
They
They found Star
y-
Cruiser Crash.
they
that apparently
somehow
has
come
been there
across a
for
ship
decades.
that's been there. You're right.
The ship has been there for decades, even though it's only been there for 5 minutes, because this is the one that brought Rod of the Hut back.
So yes.
This is the weapons dealer that they put Rada on to take him away to protect him, and then was somehow shot down on Nal Hutta with a hut in it.
How
So
and it's
so
convenient that this all.
so wait a minute. This means that the person that they gave Rod of the Hut to was a traitor,
Has to be.
took
Yes.
their money and was bringing it back to the twins, and then the twins just shot him
Shot him down.
They shot him down and he crash landed and in days he's got decades worth of overgrowth
It's
on the spaceship.
It looks like it's been there for like 30 years.
It's been there forever.
And
There's stuff on the outside, there's stuff on the
yep.
inside, there's branches and twigs and leaves everywhere. And
So they're able to
Star
fix
Cruiser
this.
crash.
They're able to fix this ship up, by the way.
By flipping a switch and the power comes back on and it works just fine because it's only been there for 2 days.
They should have just done the Fonzie thing with the jukebox.
Bam.
Just gave it an elbow or just it's just that easy. Is that it
Yep.
fired right up.
And then all of a sudden, this ship has everything that he needs. It's got his Mandalorian gun, the gun that is very specific to Mandalorians in
Yes.
terms of the tuning fork on the end. All of a sudden, he's got that back now, and he's got all of these other weapons that are in this ship so conveniently for them to mount their assault and go and fight the bad guys, because they're going to fight the bad guys no matter what. So they're going to take it to the huts, because he asks him, all right, do we run away because it's just the two of us, or do we go back and fight? And Grogu's like,
Cute. What, you remember the montage?
yeah, the montage, the loading up, the weapons.
Loading up, and he's putting on his Mandalorian armor, Grogu.
Dun, 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 dun.
I was like, what in the living shit am I
This
watching
was the
right
most
now?
bullshit thing ever. And then you get to the lamest fucking action scene I think I've ever seen in any movie ever.
I
is this
never
whole
want to
battle.
watch Huts rolling around sideways with each other. It was so
I mean, don't you like to see
strange.
slugs going like this?
Yeah.
And like this? I mean, don't you want to see slugs doing that? I mean, that's just like penises,
I felt like I
right?
was at a Melissa Etheridge concert. It was it was interesting. But it was so goofy. Because then Rada is taking on, like, his huts. You've got Mando, Grogu. Everybody's fighting, right? You got your bounty hunter and your wolves, and yet with all this going on, it still just felt so flat to me. It just felt,
It
not
was
really
the
any
least
stakes.
exciting action scene I have ever seen.
And that nothing's going to happen to Grogu. Nothing's going to happen to Mando, right? You assume nothing's going to happen to Rod of the Hutt. And so there's just, from a stake standpoint, it's hard to buy in.
Hey,
because
guess what
ultimately
happens?
that they're
Guess what
going to
happens?
be fine.
guess what happens? They go
Oh,
in there, and guess what? They get contacted by the Alliance. The Alliance is on their way. They got
yeah,
a whole bunch of
somehow.
battleships. Somehow they magically appear. And what does Mando say? He says, "Target my
Hang
location."
on. Hang on. Okay? Because remember your comment earlier about the snake and Mando and trying to bite him and swallow him, right? So what ends up happening is as Rada is rolling around making sweet love with his aunt and uncle, otherwise known as slug fighting, um, they fall down into the snake pit. Okay, they fall down in there, and Rada is evidently gone. Well, Grogu uses the Force, so now we get to see Grogu actually use the Force, and he saves him and he raises him up out of the pit, and he saves him from falling down in the snake pit. Now, the aunt and the uncle, they're down in the pit. The snake comes up, right? And what does the
Yeah, I thought the
snake do? Now
snake
we're
was
talking
dead.
about two. We're talking
Snake's
about
not
two
dead.
huts.
That's,
Snake's not dead.
yeah.
We're talking
Okay.
about two huts.
Yeah.
Remember, he couldn't figure out how to swallow Mando. Now Mando's a human, so to speak, right? Size.
He
Human size,
couldn't even
regular size.
figure out how to bite him in half.
He
I mean-
swallows the fucking huts whole. The snake literally swallows them whole.
Okay, thank you, because I think I must have dozed off at that moment because I
I
missed
don't
that part.
fucking blame you. So the snake is still alive, and he attacks the huts who have fallen down in their own trap fucking door. And guess what he does? He swallows them whole. He doesn't even chew them. He swallows them whole. So they're
He couldn't
inside
swallow
this
Mando.
fucking snake, but he couldn't swallow a human-sized person, but he swallows two huts individually whole and then swims the fuck away. And so they get their comeuppance. Now, here's the deal. Somehow, okay, for some reason, now they could have done this 2 years ago. They could have done this 10 years ago. They could have done this 3 years ago. Sigourney and the crew, okay, AARP Sigourney flying
No,
and
these are all the directors of the Mandalorian TV show.
You're right.
You have Keone Young. You've got
Trapper Wolf.
Trapper
You've got
Wolf.
the
You've got I forget the other guy's name, the black guy, and Sigourney Weaver. So you've got all those guys. They're flying in,
and they carpet bomb the fucking hut complex. Now,
because they target Mando's location.
Yes,
as they're
Mando's
sitting in the orifice, ready to jump out like it's Indiana Jones and the
at
Temple
the
of Doom.
right
I mean,
time.
oh, sorry, wrong movie.
At the right time.
At the right time, they finally decide to jump out into this shallow pool of water that they don't die from landing in, but that's a whole other thing. Whatever. I mean, the hut landed first, so that cushioned their fall, right?
But here's my thing about this, okay? Number one, I don't know why they're blowing the fuck out of this place. They could have done this anytime they wanted to, but they just decided to choose now to do it, and then Mando happens to be there and then barely escapes by jumping out of his home.
Yeah,
but then on top of that,
I thought they were trying to develop and cultivate a relationship with the brother and sister.
Well, that's right.
And they're on. Okay, hold on. They're on Now Hutta.
Yes.
Now Hutta. Okay, there's more than just Jabba's faction on Now Hutta.
That's what I was gonna say. There's other huts, right?
Where are the other huts?
And so the thing they blow up, okay, and it does look cool when it caves in like a souffle or like a cake that's falls in on itself, because it's just like this big bulbous. Looks, I don't know, it's fucking apartment complex. I don't know what it is. But my thing is like, are all huts terrible? Because I assume those weren't the only two huts living in this gigantic building thing or whatever it is, a structure. So they just carpet bomb the whole fucking city basically, and just blow the hell out of it. The X-Wings, and it's like, good job, you know, and there's a bit of a battle. There's some space fighters in there, you know, from the huts have, and you know, and they're kind of going after each other, and you get to see Trapper fucking Wolf. He's actually the guy, Dave Filoni. He spots down below Mando and Rada the Hutt and Grogu. He spots them. He's like, there they are. They're okay, or something stupid like that. And that's his little cameo. He had to be in the movie. It's so
He actually
fucking
had a
stupid.
cameo earlier with his hat on, but he
He
was in the
did in the
background.
cantina,
Yep.
but nonetheless, it very quite anticlimactic in my opinion. Again, very flat. I don't, the acting again, the dialogue is
It's
nothing exciting
nothing
happening.
exciting.
Nobody's giving it 100%.
Look, look, and I'll go back and I'll say it again. If you flip your brain off and you love to eat junk food, this is the movie for you. If you want to watch Baby Grogu do magic things and look all cute and say "boo boo gaga," then this is the movie for you.
Yeah, I guess I can agree with that. I mean, and
Because
that's why I said
every 40 to 50-year-old wine mom or wine aunt that I've talked to has really liked this movie.
I just don't know. Okay, just to finish it up, basically, yes, they get rescued, and then everybody lives happily ever after. Mando and Grogu get to go back home or do whatever the fuck they want to do, and that's basically that. There's nothing else to tell here. So
No.
it is really honestly about 4.5 episodes
Yep.
of multiple story arcs
It's a
from
solid
the
four
show.
episodes. It's a
Yeah,
solid four
if you know,
episodes.
and so um, there's
30
just
minutes each.
there's nothing here now.
Yeah.
Um, yes, it
Oh,
it 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 jumped out to a 4-day weekend and it made 167 million dollars or whatever. Okay,
give,
fine.
give me 1 minute. I'll be right back.
Yeah, yeah. The problem is moving forward. Now, again, there's nothing wholly offensive about it. It doesn't ruin the lore, but it's just basically the television show put on the big screen. There are no effects that are truly amazing. Nothing that's going to blow you away. From what I understand, as far as IMAX showings, is that it's extremely dark and it's very hard to see. And I've multiple people I've talked to, it is one of the worst IMAX movies they've ever seen in terms of visually. It's an expensive ticket. So, but ultimately, yes, this basically, from what I've read and from John Favreau, this was probably season 4. This was probably an arc in season 4, and they just transformed it into a movie. Um, but there's really nothing here. If you don't want to spend the money, it has a 90-day window guaranteed. It'll be on Disney Plus as soon as that's over. You can wait on this. Now, I love Star Wars, big fan. There's really nothing here that says to me, "Wow, this is a Star Wars story." Um, I liked Mandalorian first season. I think the second season I liked a little bit less, but I liked the ending of it. And all of that got blown to hell, right? Book of Boba Fett. Then they take 2 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett and they somehow turn it into 2 episodes of The Mandalorian where you have Grogu training with Luke. They reunite Grogu with The Mandalorian in the last episode of the Book of Boba Fett. And then when you pick up season 3 of The Mandalorian, they're back together again. And if you had never watched the first two, if you'd never watched Book of Boba Fett and you only watched The Mandalorian, you would open season 3 and be like, okay, what happened? Like, I thought Luke took him to train him, and now they're back together again. Right? So there's so many directions they could have taken with this to make it interesting. And I'm kind of glad they didn't. I'm glad they didn't bring Luke in. I'm glad they didn't bring any characters in other than who they did, because the further they stay away from ruining or messing anything else up, the better, in my opinion. But it's not terrible. I just don't think, if you're going to go see it, I highly suggest a matinee. Do not go see this movie for full price ticket. I think you'll be disappointed. Popcorn buckets aside, I do think when people leave the theater, I think the conversation is like in the car. Did you, well, what did you think about that? It was all right. It was fine. I think that's the conversation. And I think moving forward this next weekend, I think it's going to suffer a pretty big drop. I think
Yeah,
the word is going to be out that you're not missing anything if you
yeah.
do not see this movie.
I agree, and I just think that it comes down to if you are the exact demographic that they're looking for, and that is people who are on their phones, who don't care about actually watching anything, who don't care about story, who just want to see the cute baby Grogu, or are so enthralled with any kind of action scene that they can buy into it, no matter if it doesn't have a plot tied to it or story narrative in the action scene whatsoever. You can turn your brain off and you can say, look, lasers, look, stormtroopers, look, Mandalorians, look, Grogu, Lin Yoda, and then the bad guys and the good guys. And you can go in there and say that, then this movie's for you.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, Eric. As far as an antagonist of the film,
There isn't one.
because it feels like multiple episodes from the show, it has multiple antagonists, I guess, so to speak. That goes from the Imperial, that he ends up capturing after he rescues Rada. It changes to the Huts. It's got the
That's
bounty hunter. It's kind of so it
it's the
changes.
villain of the week for
And
4 weeks, but it's
yeah,
4 episodes of a 2 hour movie.
and I think the thing of it is I think the reason why I said about it being a part of the show is because hang on here, let me get my screen back. I'm trying to get this page over. There we go. Okay, I want to share this because John Favreau kind of spilled the beans
Man,
about
this
the
is
yeah.
this says it
So
all, really.
this is on that Park Place. John Favreau says he doesn't know why Disney made The Mandalorian and Grogu a movie. It says here that
Now, this is taken from an interview where they're
mhm.
asking John a bunch of questions about the show, and he does go in to say that I don't know why they decided to make it a movie, but this is what we're doing, and this is how we're going to do it, or whatever. And people like Specs say, well, they made it cinematic. No, they didn't.
No,
this
there's nothing
this has no
cinematic about
this
this
has no better
movie.
special effects. That has
No,
nothing special in it
no,
that supersedes that warrants going to see it in the movie theater. There is nothing spectacular in this. There is nothing extraordinary in this. There's nothing moving in this. No performance is going to bring you to tears in this movie that is worthy of seeing on a big screen.
yeah. And
There's nothing in
in
this.
this interview, it's Games Radar says Favreau openly admitted he doesn't entirely understand why Lucasfilm selected The Mandalorian and Grogu as the movie for franchise's theatrical comeback after 7 years and multiple canceled, delayed projects, abandoned projects. Directors being hired and fired. So he
So
quote
many. I mean, Lucasfilm has more fired directors than hired directors at this
yeah.
point.
And he says, quote, I'm not sure what exactly why we were asked to do this. Now, this is the person who's directing the film,
Yeah.
openly questioning why they made it in the first place. And I'll tell you what. Okay, so he also says, and then I'll add some thoughts on this. He says, I suspect it was because these are characters that people, even who hadn't seen Star Wars, may be aware of, especially Grogu, Baby Yoda was everywhere. Now he was, but it's years too late.
Yeah.
Okay, this is years too late. Now, what I will say is, I did watch an interview with Filoni and Favreau, and I will tell you that they openly said we had already had complete scripts for season 4 completed,
Yeah.
and they were going to do season 4, and then you had another strike, another writer strike,
Yeah.
multiple strikes. But season 4 was in the bag and was ready to be done. And to me, it sounds like they just decided because Favreau even says he heard some higher ups mentioning, hey, during the strike and everything, he said, why don't we just take part of season 4 and let's make it into a movie? And that's really how this came about, is that the people above his pay grade made the decision to do the movie, put him on it. And I think that this is 4 episodes of season 4, and they made a movie out of it, and they tried to give it some kind of through line about the different
Yeah.
cards, the Imperial warlords, the New Republic, and all that kind of stuff, to at least give it some thread. But I think really that's what this is. This is season 4. They had it already scripted and
Well,
already
so
done,
so
the
I will
whole
say
thing.
no, no. If you listen to that whole interview, he had to completely rework what was done to make this movie. So it is a reworked season 4 that he
Now
compressed into
the
this.
is the interview he did. So the interview he did with Games Radar, I think he's alone.
Yeah.
And then the interview I saw him and Filoni
Oh, that's right.
discussing,
Him
they're
and Filoni. Yeah.
together
Yeah.
and they're talking about how everything was scripted and done. Now,
No,
I'm
no,
not saying they
no.
didn't rework and
No,
rewrite,
no, no.
and change some stuff.
If you listen to the words that they say in both of those interviews, the single interview and the double interview, it goes into the fact that Favreau, yes, they had written season 4, but when they decided to make it a movie, he had to rework everything into making it into 2 hours. And so there's a reworking of
Oh
it
yeah, no, I can
that
fully
was
agree. Yeah,
that was
sure.
done on that. So it wasn't just, hey, we had these scripts and we used them. It was, we had these scripts, but we had to rework everything into this. And John Favreau, I think he's trying to distance himself because he's saying, I don't know why they wanted to make this into a movie,
Oh, it's
because
obvious.
it's clearly not cinematic. It's clearly not a movie. It's clearly a
No.
TV show, and
Yes.
was written as a TV show. And Dave Filoni only knows how to do animated TV shows, and John Favreau makes great movies. This isn't one of them.
No, as a matter of fact, I'll be honest with you. To me, his production since Iron Man 2 has steadily gone down in quality, in my opinion.
Look, I think if you look at the projects that he's worked on and that he's done, he has been hampered by the corporate machine.
Yes.
He has
Because
been beaten
the chef is an exact. That's his movie about being hammered down.
sideways.
Mm-hmm.
Sideways, the
Yep.
chef.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you look at some of his, I mean, even hell, his other Daredevil movie is miles ahead of Born Again. I mean, you're going to praise the director's cut of Daredevil, the movie with Ben Affleck, as being so far superior to Born Again that it's not even funny, because he had passion for this stuff, and the corporate system beat his ass.
Yes.
They beat him down so much that he has been just like a corporate slave. He's just been going along to get along at this point for so long. And I don't know what Dave Filoni's problem is, other than his over oppressive Jar Jar Abrams wife supporting Me Too wife, who cucks him at every opportunity to make him, make Dave Filoni want to screw his dog or whatever. I don't know what that's about, but whatever.
He's
Um,
he's openly said where he's at for years. This goes
okay,
back over a decade.
yeah.
He is openly. I mean, he is a very feminist forward ally to
Well,
the
okay,
cause. He is very on board with a lot of the things that we discuss about being the worst parts of Hollywood. He is very much on board with a lot of that. And he always uses, or people always use the excuse, well, he worked closely under George Lucas. He was mentored by George Lucas. He was
look.
so.
Okay, so let me. I want to push back on that, because when George Lucas was giving him advice, Clone Wars was good. When George Lucas was out and it was only Disney, Clone Wars went down the fucking drain. Okay,
And I can't argue with that. I'm with you. I
and
know.
Dave Filoni had his ideas, and George Lucas stated emphatically that Ahsoka had to die before Revenge of the Sith.
Right.
Number one. Number two, Dave Filoni, in these recent interviews, has talked about the between worlds, and he has said there is no time travel in Star Wars. The world between worlds is only a window. Then how the fuck do you pull a person out who was going to die at Vader's hands at Malachor, pull her out and put her into a different timeline where she lives and proceeds on? Ahsoka should have died on Malachor, according to Lucas. According to Filoni, if he had followed the rules that Lucas had put in place. But when
Well,
Disney took over, those rules went out the window. And Filoni said, we can do whatever we want with the world between worlds and time travel exists. But he denies
and
that
there,
time
yeah,
travel exists in Star Wars. But the examples are right there. Ahsoka would have been dead.
he's given, and he look, he's given every indication that, he was all about the force is female. He would speak at several different events for women, and he would talk about, the matriarchy, and he would talk about how present it is in Star Wars, even though we know that it's a story about fathers and sons. George explicitly says that.
Yep.
And so Dave is putting his thumbprints on it, and will continue to, because now he is the one that is in charge at Lucasfilm. If in fact he actually is, and you don't have someone behind the scenes,
No,
pulling
there's
strings.
okay. So remember, there are
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
two people that were replacing Kathleen Kennedy's position. Dave Filoni was one of them. This other woman was the other.
Right.
And this other woman is very much on Kathleen's side of things. So she's manipulating things as she can from the money side, while Filoni is the creative side of things. And so you have these two people going back and forth, maybe, potentially, whatever. There could be some conflict there. I don't know.
Either
But
way, I mean,
at the same time, it's not just Dave Filoni. It's Dave Filoni and this other person that was put in place of Kathleen Kennedy. So you can't lay it all on Dave Filoni, but at the same time, you have Dave Filoni's track record of being an incompetent.
but bottom line is you were talking about Favreau possibly trying to distance himself, by some of his comments,
I
and
think so.
I agree. I think he is kind of. I
He
mean,
got
look,
burned. He got okay. So let's rewind the tape a little bit. He got burned after season 2 of The Mandalorian because Jon Favreau hid what he did in season 2 from everyone until it released. So only him, the cast, whatever, very few people knew about it. And then Kathleen Kennedy saw it, blew the fuck up, and got Jon Favreau out of the system for season 3. He had almost nothing to do with season 3 because of Kathleen Kennedy pushing him out and saying, hey, this fucker's got to be out of here. And they skated Kathleen Kennedy's rules by putting 4 episodes of The Mandalorian in the Boba Fett show. That's how they skated her
oh yeah,
clause that she put into their contract, or what they were trying to do with The Mandalorian, so they could bring The Mandalorian back for season 3. And then Jon Favreau was really not involved with season 3 of The Mandalorian. He was producer in name only on that show. And then they brought him back for the movie because Kathleen Kennedy was out at the time. And so you've got Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni working together, and they can make this great thing. And so they pitched it to him, they sold it to him, they brought him back, and they threw him back out to the wolves for this. And then he saw the corporate manipulations and said, I don't know what to do with this. So I'm going to do what I can with this. I'm getting paid. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to follow the corporate rules
he
because I want to get paid.
of
And
of course. I mean, he talks in the interviews though about what a great partnership him and Filoni have, and they work really well together, and they have, they love Star Wars and all this stuff. So like, you'll get kind of these, mixed messaging from him in a way,
it
because
is.
it seems like on one hand he would want to do something else than keep making these corporate fucking slop movies
I
for
think so.
Disney.
He wants
But
to go
at the
back to
same
Chef and
token,
Sideways. I
yeah,
mean, he
sure.
really does.
But I mean, it's hard to
So did
turn the
Lucas.
movie down, turn the money down, and so, but
So
regardless, to me, his output, in my opinion, has been more disappointing over the
yeah,
last several years
I
than
agree.
early in his career, and
I absolutely agree. And I gotta say, this is the same track that George Lucas was on.
sure,
Uh, George Lucas got overwhelmed by the corporate machine that happened because of Star Wars, and he wanted to go make other things. And when he tried, okay, he got at least the Last Crusade out of Indiana Jones.
right,
But do you know what? I mean, he also made Howard the Duck, right? He wanted to do other things. The companies wouldn't let him do what he wanted to do. And so he was hampered at every opportunity, even though he had all the money and power to do what he wanted to do.
yeah,
If it, but if it was outside of Star Wars, everybody locked him down. So he couldn't express himself. He couldn't do anything. So he got frustrated with the system. John Favreau is probably at that point now where he is so frustrated with the system, with how they kicked him out of the MCU, how they kicked him out of Star Wars. He's got to be pissed at Disney. He's got to be pissed at this corporate system that has stifled his creativity so much and warped it with their interjections, that they forced him to make changes to the things that he
yeah.
wanted to do. It's
I mean, you don't have to say yes, to everything.
but don't you? Because you're afraid of losing the money that comes with it.
Well, and that was my point. Is that
Yeah.
it's the money. I'm not
Yeah.
saying he doesn't, you know, love doing the Star Wars stuff, and there's probably
Yeah.
part of him that's able to fulfill some kind of childhood thing, right? We all grew up with this stuff. Ultimately, though, he's made enough money, right? Like, don't you think if you really wanted to back away and you really wanted to do something different and you didn't want to keep doing this kind of
Hey,
stuff,
we don't know
he has
everybody's
the money to
finances.
do it?
We don't know everybody's finances. We don't know how he spent his money. I don't
No,
know.
but I mean, look,
In
it's not
in
like the guy's
theory,
not going to be able to get work.
in theory, yes, that should be
Yes,
true. That should be true. But at the same time, we also know that perception is everything, and
sure.
if he messes with the mouse will crush him, and he's afraid of that. If he messes and he goes against the grain, they're going to crush him, and he knows that.
And
And
that's
that
that's
that's why so
possible.
many things happen the way that they did in Hollywood, is because they were afraid of Harvey Weinstein. They were afraid of all these
I
other
mean,
things.
Todd says he's going to DC. They've got a James Gunn problem on their hands first.
Yeah, they got to do something about James Gunn. James Gunn is the
Yeah,
biggest problem with the DC universe at this point.
that
Uh,
has
the
to be
the
handled
the Supergirl movie
in
is
Minecraft.
is gonna fucking tank.
Yeah, it's
and
gonna
and
be
there
this
is
bad.
absolutely no doubt about it, because of how poorly Superman did. Supergirl's going to do even worse, and Millie Alcock is not doing herself any favors by going out there and doing all this stuff. And if War Chest was
No.
still here, he posted something fucking hilarious about her suing people for people putting up her likeness, which was of the kid from Mad Max. And
What?
he posted something. Do you remember the kid from Mad Max, the Road Warrior, the second movie? The
Oh,
kid with the
sure, certainly.
boomerang,
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
the,
yeah, yep, yep,
and
yep,
and the
yep.
big forehead and the teeth
Yes,
and all that,
yeah.
and comparing her to Millie Alcock. And he put up a joke about Millie suing people for putting her likeness out there and stuff like that, when
Shit.
it was a joke,
Oh shit.
but it was funny as shit.
God bless America. I see it now. I mean, I see it. I don't even have to see it to see it. I see it in my head right now. I totally see it. I have to fucking look it up. I absolutely don't have to look it up. That is fascinating because that little boy looks like Millie Alcock.
I mean,
No,
and,
seriously.
and they put enough makeup on that kid
That
to,
is fucking hilarious.
and Millie Alcock looked like she has an extra chromosome. Yes, it is a
Oh
thing.
my God, that is hilarious. Well, yeah, no, look, and Todd says, hey, look, I'm just kidding. I have no idea. But yeah, the bottom line is with this movie, y'all, if you're gonna see it, see a matinee. Don't spend the money. You are not gonna have warm and fuzzies leaving the theater. And if you do, hey, look, I say I'm not gonna tell you what you're gonna feel. What I will say is
No,
I don't think so.
yeah,
But everyone is different. Obviously, there are enough people that went to go see this movie for it to bring in $167 million. It's being reported that it made its production budget back, but you guys listen to us. That is false information, okay? That is
yeah,
false information. You have to understand how these things work. So when you
yeah.
hear people tell you, oh, it already made its production budget back, it's well on its way to being a success and making money, that is abjectly false.
Three
That is not
times,
true.
3 times. If you think you know what the production budget is, you have to multiply that by three, and that's what the box office has to do before it becomes profitable. And,
And
and that
and
that that's an estimate, but it's far closer than saying, "Oh, that equals that."
and there's one comment that I wanted to there's two things before we get out of here because uh what is it? Yeah, we're about 11:30. Yeah, about that time. But look, a couple things really quickly. Number one, this is something Warchest said a while back. He said they should go back to the VHS model, 10 to 14 months for huge blockbusters before it came out on VHS. Just don't stream the movie for that long. Well, that's the problem is that they
They can't.
cannot they can't do it anymore because that just doesn't work anymore.
Well,
You
and the
you will
new
not
agreements because of Scarlett Johansson,
and
the new
streaming has
agreements won't allow that to happen
no, and they have to have content. I mean, they just have to, and there's no way they could wait that long. Like they have got to
until
get that stuff.
these major corporations stop going under the fallacy that they can run their own streaming services and give it over to Netflix and Tubi and one other Amazon or whatever and license their stuff out to other distributors.
Well,
Until
and
they determine that that's the way to go, we're stuck with this bullshit model and it's
yeah,
costing everybody money.
it's
And
unfortunate. It
yeah,
really is because he also kind of followed that up with the old model created scarcity. A movie felt like an event because once it left theaters, you might not see it again for months or months, maybe a year practically.
you
But
know what the created scarcity is now? The fact that they're not coming out with physical media, the fact that physical media is
yeah,
going up and up in price, even though it costs less and less to make,
right.
it's going up and up in price because they don't want you to have it because then they can't
Well,
change it.
people are realizing, like, how valuable it is to actually own the things that you like to watch or the video games you like to play or whatever. And you have all your EULA agreements and things of that nature where you feel like a renter rather than an owner.
Well, in video
And
games, you look at the video games right now, you cannot purchase a video
mm-mm,
game at all and own it because you have to have the DLCs or whatever.
yep,
And as soon as you purchase a video
updates,
game,
everything.
yeah, and how many video games are disappearing this year because they're shutting down the servers for those. Yeah,
There you go, folks. Road Warrior boy who grunts and shit and Millie Alcock. You make the choice. You decide. You tell me. But yeah, I mean, it's a model that worked for years. I'll be honest with you. There is very few event things anymore in life
yeah,
for us to experience. Right, no
yeah.
matter what it is, it's further and fewer and further between now of event things that are built up that are excitement, waiting in line to buy tickets to a concert, right? Being the 20th person in line and knowing that you can buy 4 tickets and you can get in the front row, right? Those days are over, right? That shit is over. Movie theaters, same thing. But I did want to mention Spider-Man Noir in black and white. I did go get an MGM Plus subscription, a
So
free
have you seen
trial.
it? Have you
I
seen it?
haven't. No. We're gonna. I'm off tomorrow, and my son and I are gonna
Dumbass.
watch it. I'm off. I can't. I haven't had time.
Okay, tomorrow is when it comes on Amazon.
It doesn't matter. There's another reason why. There's another reason why. I thought I would have time to watch it with him because I brought it up to him. So I went ahead. It's a free trial, so
Okay.
I can cancel it. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Okay.
So,
We're gonna watch it tomorrow for sure.
yeah, no, yeah. Tomorrow, we literally are like I'm off
Yeah.
tomorrow, and I already told him, and he said
I'm
it looks really
excited about
interesting.
Spider
So
Noir because Spider Noir
yeah, can't
looks like
wait.
it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be entertaining. It's gonna be exactly what you want, and I highly recommend that y'all watch it in black and white. I think that's the way. That's the preferred way. And despite Nicolas Cage saying kids these days don't understand black and white, they want to see everything in color. My kid still appreciates black and white, and she's 10,
Oh,
and that's
we're
because
gonna watch. Yeah,
because we raised her correctly in understanding that there is more depth in black and white than most color movies, especially Mando and Grogu, because Mando and Grogu went straight brown shit color, and there's no color
yeah.
in that movie. It is brown and
Yeah,
brown
it
and
has that
brown and
weird.
brown.
It's got that filter effect on it they like to do. I hate they take all the color out of everything now,
They
and they
take the
film everything
color
way
and
too
saturation
dark.
out of everything. And you look at stuff back 40 years ago and you had so much color in
Mm-hmm.
everything.
Yeah,
And now we've got nothing. And
yeah, they yeah
this is
brutal.
the corporate mindset of numbing us down into drones. And
Yeah, it's super desaturated, and also
yeah,
everything is so freaking dark that you can't see
can't see
anything.
shit.
And then in Mother Slug, and if you happen to be watching the replay, if you're still here, he had a question for us earlier about given we were talking Star Wars, if Boba Fett's ship name was changed to Spitfire, was Jabba Hutt's Leia Legia outfit called now? Did they change the name, or is he talking about the
Yes.
Leia
Yes.
slave outfit? They
Le-
did. They won't put
yes.
that on the packaging.
Leia's slave outfit. So
Mm-hmm.
Slave Leia has been redubbed as Hut Slayer Leia.
Oh, you know what? I think I saw that
Yeah.
too, and I think that's
So
fucking
if
goofy as
if they
shit.
ever talk about it again, it will be Hut Slayer Leia, and the fire spray will be Slave One.
That's some of the dumbest shit I can even. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And yeah, Bobby also. I thought this was interesting.
Godzilla minus zero. Can't
It
wait.
yeah, but people when they would learn fictional languages, right? Klingon, Hutties. The Huts in this movie, they speak regular English mostly, and Rada sounds like a frustrated teen who's literally telling the audience about how life is tough and life is hard and it's hard out there.
Life is hard. I've
He,
got daddy issues.
he
Life is
literally is
hard.
like, you know,
I've got daddy issues. That's all he says.
and yes, Pepperidge Farm definitely remembers Bobby.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
So, yeah, yeah. Save your money, folks. I mean, wait 86 days or whatever the hell.
It's less than that.
And
It
yeah.
is less than that now.
Well, I thought they had a 90-day window.
Maybe.
I think they
but
have 90 days.
but it will be on streaming soon enough. And if you want to see it on streaming. Don't waste your money going to the movie. I know some people say I didn't think I wasted my money. That's fine. If you're fully
That's tough,
invested,
man.
if you're fully invested and you want to see it, go see it.
Yeah.
It's not horrible. It doesn't destroy lore. It is satisfactory on most accounts. Okay, I'm gonna rate it a 4 out of 10.
Oh, yeah. Easily.
That would be my rating.
Easily.
But that's not to say that other people wouldn't enjoy it more than me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, look, everybody has their something. I just know that I didn't expect a lot from this movie, and I didn't think it would produce a lot. And the marketing for it has been abysmal.
Yeah.
And the scenes that I saw leading up to the movie's release looked also equally abysmal. And
Now, I
so
didn't see the
my
15 or
expectation,
25 minutes that all these other people got to see beforehand, but after watching the first 30 minutes of the movie, I was bored as
yeah,
shit.
you literally text me and was like, oh my god, like this is so boring. And so it's just one of those things that to me, you're not going to miss out on anything at all if you don't go see it, because it doesn't provide you with any information that you need to know
Right.
about Star Wars. Like it
Yeah.
is, you might as well go back and just watch season 1 of The Mandalorian and like watch a few episodes, because you're really getting the same thing out of it. With an
Yeah.
imperial warlord who's trying to capture has a baby, or wants this baby for purposes we now know why, because it has force powers and all that. And Werner Herzog is an interesting actor, and so compared
I
to the
wish we
people in
had
this
him back.
movie, right? So that's our take on it. We both pretty much feel the same. Enter at your own risk. Enter at your own risk. But if you leave not real satisfied, it's we at least try to give you
Yeah.
an idea why. But
Hey
yeah,
man,
man.
I don't mind my Taco Bell on occasion. I mean,
Yeah.
it works.
Sabir, what's up, Sabir? Yeah, so Sabir right here, he says, my brother in Nashville texted me right out of the theater last Friday. He said, save your money. I mean, that tell you everything you need to know. I mean,
Yeah. I
look,
mean,
it is what it is. I just can't put a stamp on this and go, well, you have to go see this. Like
no. Yeah.
the experience, in the theater, like you got. I mean, when I looked up tickets, man, to buy advance tickets, it's like it wasn't hard to get tickets. Not in my area. It wasn't hard. It
No.
wasn't packed. I
Now,
have,
now, I
heard people saying that their theater was jam packed, with kids and all
I
that. But
haven't seen any theaters jam packed for this movie, and quite honestly, I haven't seen any for Sheep Detectives. But I will guarantee you, the people that came out of Sheep Detectives had a smile on their face.
I was gonna say I could believe that. I could totally, absolutely believe that.
I
Just
wish
hearing between the two.
more people would go see Sheep Detectives because I think that is a fun movie that I would want more people to see, and I would want it to be successful because it is on IMDb the highest rated Hugh Jackman movie ever.
Well, and what's funny is, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Mando and Grogu is like the highest rated Star Wars
Really?
movie at the moment. I'm pretty sure I just saw that. Like,
I
let
don't
me
know
let
how
me
that's
see.
possible because these people are always fucking up the numbers because I mean the original
Set
trilogy.
eight. Okay, the 2026. It says right here, 88% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, is the highest rated Star Wars film of the Disney era among
Oh,
fans. Yeah, the
Disney
Disney
era.
era. But even that, honestly, like more than The Force Awakens, even that's interesting.
No, I mean, how do you get more than The Force Awakens?
I
How
know.
do you get
I,
more
with
than
this
Rogue
movie, that
One?
I can't see
How
that. I don't
how do you
understand
get
it.
more than Rogue One with
I
that?
know. I
I
don't
mean,
understand it. Like,
The Force
uh,
Awakens was a
yeah,
phenomenon because we were so starved for Star
it's
Wars
crazy.
content that everybody loved The Force Awakens, and we didn't see the flaws in it until later. But
Hey,
but in Rogue One, people were like, "Hey, that Vader scene was amazing," and the rest of the story was pretty good too.
technically not a flop. Um,
Technically, it is a flop because it still hasn't made profitability.
yeah, it's not. It's not going. Look,
It will not make profitability.
Solo didn't hit 400 million. I don't know if this movie's going to hit 400 million dollars, dude.
No, look,
I could
okay,
see it doing that, but I just don't know
if
about that, man. And that's not enough to make money on it.
we believe 165 million was the production budget, and that includes marketing, it's got to include marketing. Okay, if we say that's 165 million, then you're looking at doubling it is 220, and then you have to triple it actually. So you're looking at over $400 million to make its money back.
I don't know, man. I think the drop off this next weekend is going to be just huge, dude.
I
I
cannot see this
swear.
movie making more than $300 million.
And they
I
didn't do marketing. They hardly did any marketing for this movie at
uh,
all. I mean, it really,
now
really did not do a lot.
now I said this before. If it doesn't make $60 million at the first 3 day opening, I don't see it making over 300 million. Okay, we made it over the 60. I don't know that we make that 300 million, and 300 million is still not profitable for this movie. You understand that, right?
Right.
300 million is not profitable. I don't see it making more than $300 million, much more
I,
than
I,
300 million.
I, we will definitely know after this weekend. You will know
Yeah,
100%
yeah,
after this weekend coming up. You will know
yeah,
kids are out of school. So
yeah.
look, I'm not saying it won't have a little bit of a bump up because kids are out of school, but at the same token, Memorial Day weekend, uh,
Memorial Day weekend is the weekend kids are out of school.
exactly.
Memorial
So
Day weekend is the
yes,
weekend before you go on all your vacations.
yeah.
Memorial Day weekend is the weekend that movies, skyrocket or bomb based on what you see there. And I don't see it having any legs whatsoever.
No. I did want to answer Sabir's question really quickly here. Is that yeah, no, nothing confirmed for Alien Awakening. Not that I've seen. I haven't seen anything. Sequel to Covenant. I've not seen anything about that. Just rumors and nothing concrete at all. But yeah, no, I don't. And you're right too. Like Sabir, a lot of the stuff that they've been marketing and doing lately, they haven't even been marketing the sequel trilogy at all. They don't even remember it. They don't want to remember it. When they're releasing figures and doing new figure releases, they don't want anything to do with it. And you guys
Yeah,
remember,
they've stopped
we're
talking
talking,
about that.
really quickly, we're talking about the Mandalorian, the Grogu craze. This is 3-4 years past that. 5 years past that, and
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 this is corporate methodology,
it
right? I mean, they're 4 years behind the
yeah, they're 4 years
trends.
behind, and there was really no hype for this. Um, it's just there's just nothing to it, and it's interesting too because it made me think, and I was listening earlier because I heard listened to the real BBC stream, and you remember they were talking about like Captain Phasma and such an awesome character and how
Such
awesome
an
it was going to
amazing
be.
character, and she had 10
10
lines.
lines of dialogue in
10
two
lines.
films. People are gonna buy all this merchandise. Captain Phasma figures were flying off the shelves. And
Well,
then
she
and then the
was,
movies
right?
came
Because
out.
everybody saw her and she looked so
Right,
cool, and everybody was
ten
like,
lines, 10 lines of dialogue in two films.
and
Didn't do
two
shit.
films,
Got
and she
beat.
died in
I
both
know.
of them.
It was so stupid. Yeah, it's so stupid. But it reminds me in a way a little bit of that. So, but hey, it is what it is. But that's our thoughts, our long thoughts on the Mammo and Grangui,
Mountain Dew and Grork.
Mountain Dew and Gork, Man Boobs and Gooey, Goo Goo Cluster.
Gooey.
It's
I like the gooey one. Yeah.
um,
Mandu and gooey.
yeah, it's it is what it is, man. But yeah, so look, obviously we'll be back next week. I will be here on Sunday night. No more graduation stuff, so
And I've
I'll
got
be doing a.
DFW GI Joe action figure toy show
Oh
this weekend.
yeah, there you go.
So I'm going to be seeing Rod Wagner and Larry Hama and a lot of the voice cast of the GI Joe cartoons and a whole bunch of friends from, Emerald Knight and Woody and not Woody 222, but a different Woody. A bunch of friends from all over the GI Joe verse, and Savage Crucible is going to be there, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So
Oh yeah,
the DFW GI Joe action figure show is going to be a blast, and I'm going to have so much fun with it. I'm super excited about it. More excited about anything else. And then the next weekend we've got Motu.
yeah, man, can't wait for that too. So that's gonna be fun. And then we inch closer and closer to Spidey, right? And so yeah, hopefully we've got some good stuff
Yes,
down the
Clint.
pipeline.
Valaverse is going to be there. I'm going to be at their panel on Sunday, and I'm going to see all the reveals that they're going to have and all that kind of stuff. They're going to have a lot of cool stuff. If they don't give me that medic that they've been promising for so long really soon, I'm going to be upset because I'm excited for their medic and all the extra hands that he comes with. It'll be a really cool medic to take photos with. The black is cool. I love it, but I don't know that I'm going to be able to get much of it because I'm a Savage Crucible guy. And while
Yeah,
Rob and Bobby are friends,
savage through and through.
I am a savage, totally savage. Yeah, so I'm excited about that stuff.
Yep. And yeah, I got some cool stuff coming up. Obviously, I'll be going to Joe Fest next month at the end of next month. So
Joe
yeah.
Fest is
So
going to be awesome. There's going to be a drop figure from Savage Crucible there, which I may ask you to try and pick me up one of those too. Um,
it's man, I for some reason I always end up being late to the drops. I'm not kidding. I always end up being late to the drops because somebody either pulls me aside and I end up shooting the shit. And then when I get outside in the thing, everybody's like standing there going, ah, and maybe I could do some crowd surfing.
yeah,
You know what I
maybe.
mean? Maybe.
Clint, Skeletron, Savage Crucible, Delta 17, Valaverse are all going to be at DFW.
Boss
Boss
fight's
Fight
gonna be at Joe Fest.
is going to be at Joe Fest, is
Yeah.
not going to be at DFW because they can't afford to send a presence there, and um, they're just not as hot as Savage Crucible, Valaverse,
Yeah.
Skeletron,
Yeah.
Delta 17, those guys. DFW GI Joe action figure toy show was based off of the 12-inch GI Joe action figures, and then moved into the 3 3/4 and the 4-inch later on, and then expanded from there. And it has been growing since then. But Greg, his heart has always been the 12-inch GI Joes, and he wanted to keep those alive. The DFW GI Joe action figure toy show has been around longer than Joe Fest because it started before JoeCon ended, and when JoeCon ended, it kind of folded into DFW. So they brought all of their talent. Brian Savage kind of folded in with Greg and helped him out with that show and created the experience that was at JoeCon that Ed Schumacher has never been able to create with Joe Fest.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about all that.
And as popular as Joe Fest has become,
I don't
it
care
it
about all that. It's
it
fun. I have
it,
fun.
it never hit the same feel as JoeCon. And you go to the shows that you feel comfortable with, you go to the shows that you have fun with, and whatever you have fun with is awesome because it will always be awesome. Because the people that went to Motuniverse this year had such an amazing time. It will never be that way again, but it was amazing this year for a whole bunch of reasons. And so,
Yeah,
go
and
to
see,
the shows that you want to go to,
the
and
thing of it is,
and
like,
they're gonna be fun.
I didn't go to any of the shows. So for me, it's like, I didn't go to JoeCon, I didn't go to anything like, whatever. So for me, it's like, my experience is based off of a couple of years of just going down to Augusta and going to that, right? And for what it is, it works for me. Now, for other
Yeah.
people, maybe hardcore collectors and stuff, right? There's different reasons. For me, I just like hanging out. And
So
so,
if you,
the toys are cool. It's not my real MO of going. I like to go down there and shoot the shit with everybody.
yeah,
I could do that if it wasn't a convention. And let's say for some reason everybody was going somewhere else, but the same people were showing up, right? Like I would still enjoy that. You know what I mean? Like that part of it. The toy stuff is fine, but
yeah,
it's not my thing, right? Like I like to
sure.
see the stuff, but it's not like just my main focus. So, but it's fun. I've had opportunities to go to other ones, but It's got to be something really to pull me. Like it's got to pull me in. It have to pull me in order for me to travel, or take off of work, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
so. This is kind
absolutely.
of the only thing for me, and it really is because just hanging out afterwards. Once the 5 o'clock whistle hits, they shut down the show floor. I'm going to laser tag. I'm going to mud wrestling, and the hotel bar,
That's
and
right. That's right.
and then that's where all the magic happens, baby.
At DFW, there's this guy named Gray, and he's been around for forever. He's been in all the Joe stuff for forever, and he's the guy that is the driver for all these guys, and he makes sure that everybody is well lubricated through every event,
Whoa! Holy
especially all
shit!
of the guests, so that all of the guests are well
Astroglide?
lubricated with alcohol through
Oh,
all of
alcohol. Okay.
with all of the events that they might want to attend. Um, and so, if you want to see your guests interact with everybody on a different level, Gray's the guy that you want, and he's over here at DFW, and the stuff we get out of some of these guys is amazing.
Oh,
But
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it, man. It's just
so much fun.
it would be difficult to go like to one and then another the next month, right? Like that's what's so
Yeah,
tough about it,
it's
right?
yeah,
Is that
it's
close
tough.
together. So
Well, so they used to be a week apart or the same day.
I
So
know, I
so this has
know.
always been the problem, and that's what the big confrontation has been about, is because DFW was around first, and Joe Fest kind of moved its dates and played with things to do what it needs to do.
Yeah.
And so you've got Atlanta and DFW that are battling for the Joe Collector stuff. And there's more Joe stuff in Texas than there is in anywhere else in the entire United States, because the Collectors Club was here, and the Collectors Club did so much for GI Joe, and GI Joe was here so prevalently that it's hard to see anything else.
No, I get it. I do. And but it's always funny to hear people like talk smack about the different cons and shit.
It is
I
funny.
I
It
think
is
it's
funny.
funny because I'm
No,
just
it is
like, are
funny.
we really
It is
doing
funny.
this? Like, uh, but be careful because this little green dude is trying to use the force on you right now. He's look how hard he's trying. He's like, I just couldn't do it. Damn it. Look at that. Look at that. That's D23 kids.
He's
Join the
pulling.
join join the club.
He's
Join the
pulling so
club, Ty.
hard, and then he's laughing at you. Look at that.
Yeah.
He's laughing at you
Oh, I
whether he
see
succeeds or not.
that little son of a bitch. I see what's going on in those black eyes. Those are shark eyes.
Those are
Yeah,
shark eyes.
just black and cold, ready to
Soulless.
tear your body to shit. Ready to eat you whole like a
D23
white
doesn't care
snake.
about you.
All right, I gotta get out of here. All right, you guys, man, we'll catch you next week. I'll see you guys Sunday night for sure, and possibly with Same Time Toys on Friday if we do a hangout there. I'll be joining them for a little bit.
And I'll be at
Uh,
DFW all weekend,
yep, you'll
so
be all weekend.
you might see me on some other people's streams as they do live streams from the
We're gonna
show.
have to get your reporting. Got to get your reporting. I'll have to maybe check in with you Sunday night during Unfiltered and kind of get a little
Yeah.
report. But definitely next Tuesday we'll get the rundown on DFW next
Yeah,
Tuesday.
you'll probably get me on Sunday because I did take Monday off as well. I
Oh,
took
cool. That's
Friday and
cool.
Monday off of work.
Yeah, that'd be good. I have no problem with that, as you know. All right, we're gonna get out of here. And yeah, it's about midnight. I'd say that's good enough tonight, Matthew. What do you think? Ah, yes. Hang on, hang on. One more time. Ooh. All right, you guys have a great night. We'll see y'all next week, and we'll do it again then, man. Y'all take care. Appreciate it.